sa mechanics. So although sa board exam natin, so hindi siya masyadong lumalabas. No? Kasi mayroong rotational motion. Sa board exam kasi kadalasan, translational motion lang yung lumalabas. No? So kaya wala yung mga pahirap na problem. Okay? So again, so dito we have a horizontal plane. So yung horizontal plane, we have a vertical wall. Tapos meron kang 32-meter ladder. No? So let's use... Sige, ito na lang. Okay, so let's say ito yung ladder natin. No? Okay, so we have this ladder. So again, so this is a 32-meter ladder. So yung length nito, okay, so this length. So this is 32 meters. No? So and syempre yung assumption natin dito is the ladder will not break. That's one. So and pangalawa, 'di ba? So is yung ladder natin is hindi na stretch, no? So hindi siya nagbe-bend, etc. So kumbaga straight lang siya. Okay? Nakabasa again, so that's the basic idea. So therefore, so kung pinupush natin to, sabi diyan, assume the foot of the ladder to be pushed towards the wall, 'di ba? So ibig sabihin, so itong foot ng ladder, so pinupush daw siya so towards the wall. So tinutulak natin siya in this case, 'di ba? So therefore, so this is the initial position, 'di ba? So ng foot ng ladder natin. Okay? Okay ba? So yun yung initial position ng foot ng ladder natin. So let's consider this or tawagin natin to as x. Okay? Nakuha ba? So therefore, pag pinush natin siya, for example, papunta dito sa position na to, so if we push that, diba? So in this direction, so magkakaroon tayo ng change in x. So basically, so ito yung parang change in x natin, diba? So therefore, there's a rate, diba? So of change ng x natin, so with respect to time. So let's say yung rate ng pagbabago ng x natin, so will be given by dx dt. So then this will be our dx dt. Okay? So then yung dx dt na yan, so will be yung rate ng pagtulak natin towards the wall. So meaning that's this one. Diba? So then you will get that dx dt is simply equal to, so we have 2 meters per minute. Diba? Pero, kailangan natin i-consider yung change. Diba? So ano ba yung change natin? Is it increasing or decreasing? So makikita natin dito na yung delta x natin is papunta dun sa position ng x such that yung x natin is smaller dun sa original value niya. Diba? So therefore, yung x natin is decreasing in this case. Diba? So which means, okay, so this should be negative. No? So kasi decreasing siya. Okay? Pag increasing, positive. Diba? So pag decreasing, negative. Okay? Nakuha ba? And you can imagine, so na pag tinutulak natin siya in this direction, diba? So then, since hindi nagbe-bend yung ladder natin, hindi siya nag-shorten, hindi siya nagle-lengthen, hindi siya nasisira, diba? So therefore, okay, so dapat pagdating sa position na to, so then we can assume na ganito yung magiging itsura ng ladder natin and hindi magbabago yung length niya. 32 meters pa rin yan, diba? So kaya para mangyari yan, alam natin na yung top ng ladder natin will move upward, diba? So base dun sa figure natin, diba? So ito naman yung magkakaroon ng change, diba? So let's say this is the original value, so y. Okay? So tapos makikita natin dito, meron kang change, diba? So this will be our delta y. So therefore, there's a rate of change, diba? So ng y with respect to time. And this time, this is increasing. No, so kaya yung dy dt natin, so is positive. That's one. So pero for now, so ito yung kailangan natin i-solve. How fast is the top of the ladder rising? Okay? Nakuha ba? So that's the idea. So pero makikita natin, so na regardless kung ano yung position ng ladder natin, we still form a right triangle. So kasi hindi nagbabago yung vertical wall sa horizontal plane. And the hypotenuse, the length of the ladder is always 32 meters. Okay? Nakuha ba? So kaya we can just focus on that triangle. So such that, diba? So ang variable lang natin dito is yung x and y natin. Kasi nagbabago yung value nila. So depende dun sa motion ng ladder natin. Okay? Nakuha ba? So kaya ibig sabihin, diba? So we need to relate x and y. So base dun sa fact, diba? So na laging right triangle yung na-form natin. Yung legs are always x and y. So again, so yun yung nagbabago sa equation natin. But the hypotenuse is always 32 meters. So by Pythagorean theorem, so we know that x squared plus y squared so is equal to 32 meter squared. No? So again, hindi ko na nilagay yung unit dito kasi para consistent. So let's assume na naka-meters din yung x and y natin. No? Tapos yung time, so since ang given sa atin dito ay per minute, so yung time natin will be in minutes. No? So para consistent tayo. No? Okay, so meron na tayong equation. So next step natin is to get the derivative with respect to time. Okay, so this is x squared plus y squared. So then this is equal to, so derivative with respect to time, so ng 32 squared. Okay, so then, so this will be 2x. So remember, with respect to theta, so pero x yung variable natin. So therefore, we need to multiply this by dx dt. Same dun sa y, diba? So we need to multiply this by dy dt. And as you can see here, diba? So derivative ng constant ay 0. So this will be 0. Okay? So by multiplying this whole term by 1/2, so then we can cancel this. So then ano yung kailangan nating isolve? Okay, so yung dy dt. So then solving for dy dt. So this will simply be equal to negative x over y. So then multiply this by dx dt. Okay? Naka ba? So meron na tayong formula, diba? So para dun sa dy dt natin. Okay? So ngayon ang problema na lang, isang alam lang natin. So is ito. So how fast the top of the ladder rising when its foot? So is 10 meters from the wall, diba? So therefore we need to solve this. So at the instant, so that x is equal to 10 meters. Kasi dinefine natin, diba? So na yung length na, yung distance natin from the foot of the ladder papunta dun sa base ng wall natin, so is x. So kayong given na 10 meters yun is x. So therefore, kailangan pa natin si y. Saan natin ito masasolve? Dito. Diba? So kasi from here, so y can be written as square root of 32 squared minus x squared. So palitan lang natin yung y dito. Okay? So diretso ko na dito. So therefore, okay, so then dy dt so will be equal to, so again, negative x over. So again, so dito magigitong square root so of 32 squared minus x squared. So this is multiplied by dx dt. No, so then, okay, so substitute natin yung mga alam nating value. Ano yung x natin? So x is 10 meters. No? So x is 10 meters. So it's 10. Okay. So then this is divided by square root of, okay, so 32 squared. So again, x is 10. So then yung dx dt natin is negative 2 meters per minute. Diba? So again, so remember that yung y, inassume natin na naka-meters. Yung time, inassume natin na naka-minutes. So this will be in meters per minute. Diba? And also note that negative times negative is positive. Kaya tama yung assumption natin or tama yung nakuha natin kanina na dapat dapat positive yung dy dt natin. Diba? So if we try to solve this, we have positive 0.658 meters per minute. No? So kaya again, so yung tatandaan natin. So first, set up the equation. So after nyo ma-set up yung equation, diba? So then get the derivative with respect to time. No? So tapos solve nyo lang. Diba? So kung ano yung kailangan i-solve sa problem. Okay? So again, so ang pinakamahirap na part dito actually is yung pagsa-set up ng equation saka yung pagsa-simplify. Diba? So yung pinakamahirap na part is actually yung pinaka-basic. Diba? So algebraic manipulation. Okay? Nakuha ba? So yan. So kasi para magamit nyo yun, so dapat talaga well-versed kayo dun sa mga lower mathematics. No? Okay? So kaya sa review namin, usually sa mathematics, ang start ng mga subject is algebra, trigonometry, plane and solid geometry, then analytic geometry. No? Yun kasi yung mga foundation natin. So kaya para mas madali kayo makapag-solve sa calculus. So kasi dito kung hindi nyo alam yung right triangle, diba? Yung Pythagorean theorem, so then hindi nyo masaset up yung equation. Okay? Which is the first step. So ganun din sa maxima minima, 'di ba? So and hindi naman laging right triangle yung lumalabas, 'di ba? So pwedeng isang normal lang na triangle, 'di ba? Tapos gagamitin niyo ng sine law and cosine law. So kung hindi niyo alam yung sine law, hindi niyo alam yung cosine law, so wala din, 'di ba? Kahit na sobrang galing niyo mag-derivative or sobrang galing niyo mag-integrate, 'di ba? Pag hindi niyo alam yung pagsisimulan, so yung equation na gagamitin natin, wala din. Okay? Okay ba? So yan. So kaya sa differential calculus, madalas yung magagamit ito yung lower math. No? So pagdating sa integral calculus kasi more on concept na talaga ng calculus yung ginagamit natin. So basically we are using shapes, figures, diba? Okay? So na infinitesimal, diba? So or infinitesimally small, no? Okay? So yun yung nangyayari sa integral calculus. So the differential equation naman is application na ng integral calculus, no? So kaya in terms ng difficulty ng mga calculus subjects natin, ang pinakamadali dyan is differential calculus kasi pumapasok pa dyan yung lower math. No? So pagdating sa integral calculus at differential equation, so medyo mas mataas yung level nila sa differential calculus, di ba? So kasi gumagamit sila ng concept ng calculus. No? Okay? Okay ba? So basically, kailangan naiintindihan nyo talaga, di ba? So kung anong ibig sabihin ng integration, anong ibig sabihin ng differentiation. So pagdating sa differential equations and integral calculus. No? Okay? So let's move to the next topic. No? So next topic natin is approximation of error. No? So again, isa na naman tong application ng differential calculus. So actually may isa pa tong kadugtong, dapat yung estimation. Diba? So for example, you are getting the square root of a number. Diba? We can actually estimate the square root of a number so using differential calculus. Okay? Nakuha ba? So pero again, so kayo na yung bahala kung gusto nyo pag-aralan yun. No? So meron din tayong mga numerical method. Diba? So using differential calculus. Okay? Nakuha ba? So yan. So basically, ang idea is magsisimula tayo sa isang number. So tapos palapit tayo ng palapit dun sa actual solution. Okay? So pero again, so ang usual na lumalabas kasi sa board exam, approximation of error. So kaya ito yung nasa lecture natin. Okay, so at least sa REE. No? Okay, so then so let's discuss, diba? So yung approximation of error. Okay, so sa approximation of error, gagamit lang tayo ng differential. No? So ito lang yung tatandaan natin. Diba? So if let's say we are given function y, diba? So which is given by f of x. Okay. So let's say yung given natin. So if we want to get yung tinatawag natin as the actual error, diba? Or the real error, so then kailangan lang natin i-calculate is yung delta y. Diba? So which is basically equal to, so we have f2 of x minus f1 of x. Diba? So again, so ito yung tinatawag natin as the actual error. Okay? Ako ba? So pero syempre, in most cases, especially kung complicated yung equation natin, so hindi natin to kayang i-solve manually. Okay? Ba? Or hindi natin siya masosolve ng basta-basta. Diba? So kaya kadalasan, diba, sa pagdating sa mga complicated na equation, we estimate the error. Diba? Or ina-approximate lang natin siya. Diba? So to approximate them, diba? So we just make yung delta y natin very small. Diba? So yung delta y, i-approach natin siya kay dy. Diba? So again, as delta y approaches 0, so then it becomes dy. Diba? So yung differential natin. So remember, diba? So yung limit ng delta y over delta x, as delta x approaches 0, diba? So is dy dx. No? So kaya yung delta y natin, pag in-approach natin yung kay 0, para magigilang siyang dy. Diba? So then pag nangyari yan, so saan ba equal yung dy natin? So by using concept of differential calculus, this is f prime of x multiplied by dx. Diba? So ito yung tinatawag natin as the approximate error. Okay? So and kadalasan ito yung pinapasolve sa problem. Okay? Nakuha ba? So any questions dito? Okay? So if we want to get the, yung tinatawag naman natin as the, ang tawag dito. So this is the relative error na tinatawag, no? So if we try to divide them, so dy divided by y, so then this will be f prime of x divided by f of x dx. Okay? So ito naman possible na relative error yung kailangan nyo i-solve sa problem. Diba? Yung percent error na tinatawag is the same as the relative error. Naka-percent form lang siya. Para makuha mo yung percent form, so yung decimal, i-multiply mo lang ng 100. Diba? Okay? So any questions dito? Okay. So let's try some example. So find the approximate change in volumes of a cube. So if you increase the side from 2 to 2.05 units, diba? So makikita niyo naman pag actual error or estimated or approximate error yung kailangan nating i-solve. So unang-una may nakalagay dito approximate change, diba? So kaya alam natin approximate error yan. Pangalawa, makikita natin that the change, diba? So in the value or in the independent variable natin, so yung measurement ng side natin, so this is just a change of 0.05. Okay, nakuha ba? So kaya alam natin, this is a very small change compared dun sa 2. No, so ilang percent ba to? So this is mga 2.5%, diba? Okay? So kaya sobrang liit lang nito, 'di ba? So compare dun sa actual value natin. So pag mga ganyan lang yung change natin, so approximation yung gagamitin natin diyan. Okay? Okay ba? Pero pag malaki yung change, for example, ang sabi 2 to 3, no? So most likely ang itatanong dito is yung actual error, no? So yung real error, 'di ba? So ibig sabihin, gagamitin natin yung mga direct formulas. Okay? So pero dito approximate lang yung kailangan natin. So ano yung sinosolve? Volume ng cube. Diba? So alam natin yung direct formula niya. So from geometry. So again, so importante rin yung mga direct formula. So volume is equal to the measurement of the side raised to the third power. Diba? Okay, so therefore, since we want the approximate change in volume, so we just get dV. Diba? So then this will be equal to 3s squared ds. Diba? So then this will be equal to, so ano yung gagamitin nating s? S is the original value. Kasi remember yung equation, diba? Yung s natin dito is the original value of the side. So ibig sabihin itong 2 units, diba? Before mangyari yung change, yun yung gagamitin nating value. So kaya 2 units yung gagamitin natin dito. So then yung ds natin dito, diba? So is the change in the value of side. So again, change to. This is a change, no? So kaya ibig sabihin, so this is final minus initial. Ito yung final, ito yung initial. So therefore, that's 2.05 minus 2. Okay? So this is our differential volume or the approximate change in the volume. Okay? So pag sinolve natin yan, so you will get 0.6. No? So therefore, the answer is letter C. Okay? So any questions para dito? Okay? So let's try another example. So number 19. Okay? So dito naman, the specific gravity of an object, diba? So more dense than water is given by this equation. So ito naman yung i-approximate natin dito. Okay? So where A is the weight in air, okay? So W is the weight in water. So actually ito ano to? Direct formula to, diba? Sa pagkuha ng specific gravity ng object. So by using yung buoyancy, diba? So na concept. Okay? So yung weight in air is the actual weight of the object. So yung weight in water naman is yung tinatawag natin na apparent weight. Diba? So kumbaga, so yan yung lumalabas na weight natin so pag nasa tubig tayo. No? Okay? So if for a certain object, the measurements are A is equal to 12 pounds and W is equal to 5 pounds, diba? The maximum error for air is plus or minus 1/2. And sa water naman daw is plus or minus 1 ounce. No? What is the approximate, diba? So what is approximately the maximum error in the computed value for S, diba? So remember ang hinahanap natin dito maximum error. So pag sinabi maximum error, so we need to get all the possibilities, diba? So para makita natin, so aling combination yung magbibigay sa atin ng pinakamataas na error sa pag-compute ng value ng S. Okay? Okay ba? So again, maximum error, diba? Okay, so kaya kailangan lang natin i-consider yung solution, diba? Such that, okay, so siya talaga yung pinakamalaking possible error dun sa problem. Okay, nakuha ba? So ang common mistake yun ng estudyante is ang ina-assume nila pag positive yung error ng air, positive din yung error ng water. So again, not necessarily. Walang sinabi sa problem. Diba? Ang sinabi lang is pwedeng magbago yung weight sa air, so ng plus or minus 1/2 ounce, and yung sa water naman is plus or minus 1. Okay? So ibig sabihin kahit positive yung error sa air, pwedeng magkaroon ng negative yung error sa water. Diba? So then, so let's try to solve for the error for the computed value of S. Diba? So ganito yung given sa atin. So A over A minus W. No? Okay? So we want to solve for ds in this case. Diba? So then this will be, so again, low, d high. So ang derivative nung nasa taas is simply dA. No? Minus high, d low. So this is dA minus dW. So then this is divided by, okay? So we have A minus W. So law squared, diba? Okay? So then, so let's check kung meron magka-cancel dun sa equation. So we have ADA, tapos meron ka negative ADA dito. So then that will cancel. Diba? So the negative WDA, so then dito naman is positive ADW. Diba? So therefore, yung nasa numerator natin will be ADW minus WDA. Diba? So this is divided by, okay, so we have A minus W. So this quantity squared. So okay, so ito yung formula natin for ds. No? Okay? So now, let's consider again yung DW natin. So again, ito yung mga possible na combinations natin for DWDA. No? So pwedeng positive 1/2 yung, or positive 1. So yung DW natin. Okay? So kasi plus or minus 1 yung, plus or minus 1 yung error natin. Diba? Yung error natin for water. So therefore, so it's a chance, diba? So na positive 1. So yung sa water. So then plus or minus 1/2 naman yung sa air. So then pwedeng positive 1/2 yung kay air. Diba? So then pwede rin positive 1 yung kay water. So negative 1/2 yung kay air. Pwedeng negative 1 kay water, positive 1/2 kay air. Pwedeng negative 1 yung water. So then negative 1/2 yung air. So again, so these are all the possibilities. Diba? So para dun sa errors natin. But as you can see, yung DW saka yung DA, makikita natin sa equation as part of this one. And yung A saka W naman natin, lagi yung positive. Diba? So therefore, yung sign, diba, ng mga terms natin dito will highly depend on these values of DW and DA. Kasi sila lang yung pwede maging negative. No? So, and since this is subtraction, diba? So anong alam natin sa rule ng subtraction sa integer? Positive minus negative. So S plus, diba? Magiging sum. Okay? Negative minus positive. So will be sum din. Mag-a-add sila, so pero negative yung magiging result. Diba? For example, 1 minus negative 1. Diba? So this will become positive 2. Nag-add up sila. Diba? Negative 1 minus 1. So this is equal to negative 2. Diba? So okay, nag-add up din sila, so pero negative to. Diba? So if we try 1 minus 1, so positive minus positive, magsusubtract sila. Diba? So and pag ginawa naman natin na negative 1, so minus negative 1, this is also 0. Magsusubtract sila. So makikita natin dito ano yung pinakamalaki. Itong positive 2. Diba? So which will happen pag yung minuend natin is positive. So and yung subtrahend natin is negative. Diba? So which means ito yung gagamitin natin combination. Okay? Nakuha ba? So DW kasi muna bago DA. So tama. No? So again, ano yung A natin? So A is 12 pounds. So this is 12 pounds. Multiplied by DW. So ang DW na gagamitin natin is positive 1. So again, this is in ounce, no? So then minus, okay, so we have W. So yung W natin dito ay 5 pounds. So we have 5. So then yung DA naman na gagamitin natin is negative 1/2. So this is negative 1/2 ounce. Okay? So then this is divided by, so we have A is 12 pounds. W is 5 pounds. So this quantity is squared. Diba? So now looking at the units, makikita natin na okay, so this is pound squared, no? So this is pound squared. So kaya pwede natin i-cancel yung isang pounds. Okay, nakuha ba? So therefore, so kailangan natin itong i-convert, diba? So again, so para maging consistent tayo sa unit. Okay? So now, okay, so ano yung conversion natin? So we have 16 ounce per pound, diba? So kaya we have 1 pound divided by 16 ounce. So then ounce will cancel, pounds will cancel. So therefore, this will be dimensionless. So tama lang kasi specific gravity is not does not have a dimension, diba? So wala siyang unit. Kasi yung specific gravity is ratio between densities, diba? Okay? So this will be 12 plus 5 over 2 divided by 7 squared divided by 16, no? So you will get, so that this is, oops, mali yung choices dito. So check ko dun sa okay, so check ko dun sa handouts natin. Alam ko mali yung choices mo. Okay? So ito yung choices natin. So we have plus or minus 0.0175. So plus or minus 0.0185. So then plus or minus. Okay, so we have 0.0195. So then plus or minus 0.205. 0205. So okay, so ito yung tamang choices natin dito. Okay? So then, diba? Okay? So nakukuha pa lang natin is the maximum positive error. So base kasi sa choices natin, kailangan din natin i-consider yung maximum negative error. So in terms of the maximum negative error, makikita natin ito yung merong maximum negative error. So that is negative yung minuend and positive yung subtrahend. So therefore, ito naman yung i-consider natin para dyan. Okay? And you can imagine ang magbabago lang dito is magiging negative lang to, tapos magiging positive lang to. Diba? So therefore, pag nangyari yan, diba? So then magiging negative lang yung value natin. Okay? So therefore, so if we consider that, no? Okay? So again, or, so DS, so will be equal to, so again, so this will be 12 pounds multiplied by, so this is negative 1 ounce. Diba? So then this is minus 5 pounds. So multiplied by positive 1/2 ounce. So this is divided by, okay, so we have 12 minus 5 squared. So again, this will be in pounds squared. Okay? So again, so we also multiply this by 1 pound for every 16 ounce. Diba? So kaya makikita natin ang pinagbago lang talaga nito is yung unit. No? So ito magka-cancel na ito lahat. Okay, so you will get DS will be negative 0.0185. Okay, naka-ba? So kaya yung sagot natin dito is letter B. So we have plus or minus 0.0185. No? Okay, so any questions? So para sa problem na to? Okay, naka-ba? So kaya yun yung tatandaan nyo pagdating sa maximum error. Pag maximum error yung tinatanong, diba? So hanapin nyo yung best combination, diba? So ng mga errors, diba? So para magbigay sa atin ng pinakamataas na final error do sa value na hinahanapan sa problem. Okay? So any questions for this part? Okay. Okay, so next. So this should be radius of curvature. Okay, so para sa radius of curvature, diba? So again, so ito lang yung tatandaan nating equation. So for rectangular curves, no? So ito lang yung i-discuss natin kasi ito lang naman yung madalas na lumabas sa board exam. So again, kung gusto nyo malaman nyo sa polar curve sa parametric curve, so then try nyo na lang hanapin sa internet. Diba? So available naman sa internet yan. Okay, nakabar? So ayan. Okay, so again, so doon lang tayo sa pinaka-basic, diba? So which is the rectangular curve. So direct formula natin for the radius of curvature of a rectangular curve, so is given by, so this is, okay, so 1 plus, so 1 plus, no, so this is y prime, so quantity squared, so this quantity raised to 3 halves, no, so divided by, so this is absolute value of y prime prime. Okay? So again, meron diyang absolute value kasi, so again, dapat yung radius of curvature is positive. Okay? Okay ba? Pag ang tinatanong sa atin is the curvature, so which is denoted by K, i-reciprocal lang natin yung radius of curvature. Okay? So ito yung tinatawag natin curvature. So may measure din kasi siya. Diba? Okay? So this is curvature. Okay? So yan. So pero yung curvature kasi natin pwedeng maging negative, pwedeng maging positive, no? So kaya pag kukunin niyo yung value ng K doon sa R, wag niyo i-absolute value yung y prime prime. So basically this is y prime prime, so then that's divided by, so we have 1 plus y prime squared. So this quantity raised to 3 halves, no? So yun yung tinatawag nating curvature. So curvature is the measure of ratio, diba? So ng pagbabago ng direction. Okay, so with respect dun sa length, diba? Dun sa arc length natin. Okay? So basically kung sa circle, diba? So let's say we consider a circle, okay? So then, diba? So basically, so ito yung tinitignan natin. From this point, so which is in this direction, diba? Papunta sa point na to, which is in this direction, diba? So makikita natin that we have a change in direction equivalent to this theta, diba? Tapos if the arc length is S, so then curvature is the ratio between this angle and the arc length. Okay, okay. So kaya dyan yung pwedeng ma-derive yung equation ng curvature saka equation ng radius of curvature. No? Okay. So any questions para dito? Okay. So yan. So then, so let's try this problem. No? So this should be y squared. Diba? Okay. So find the radius of curvatures of the given curve. So at the point 4, 4. So again, from our equation ng radius of curvature, kailangan natin ng y prime saka y prime prime. Diba? Okay? So kailangan natin ng dalawang yan. So kaya start tayo sa y. So we are given y squared is equal to 4x. No? So we need to solve for y prime first. Diba? So para makuha yon, kunin natin yung derivative with respect to x. Diba? So ng both sides. So we have y squared. So this is the derivative with respect to x ng 4x. Diba? So then this will be 2y, y prime. So then this is equal to, derivative nito will be 4. Right? Okay? So then multiply natin ng 1/2. Diba? So then you will get that y prime. So this is equal to 2. No? So then solving for y prime. So y prime is equal to 2 over y. Diba? So at the given point, so at point P, 4, 4. So ito yung x, ito yung y. So just substitute. So y
Join
prime
us
will
at
be...
any Huawei.
Okay? So again, diba? So y prime so will be equal to 2 divided by, so yung y natin is 4. So kaya y prime so will be equal to 1/2. No? So meron na tayong first derivative. No? So next natin kailangan isolve is the second derivative. So for the second derivative, pwede natin siyang isolve using this one. So kasi if we get the derivative with respect to x, diba? So ng y prime, so this is equal to the derivative with respect to x ng constant. Diba? So then, so by product rule, so this will be y. Derivative ng y prime is y prime prime. No? So plus y prime. Okay, so then derivative ng y is y prime. So kaya y prime times y prime. So then this is equal to derivative naman ito ay 0. Okay? So then solving for y prime prime, so this is simply y prime quantity squared divided by y. Diba? Okay? So then yung at the given point sa atin, so at the point P, 4, 4, diba? Na-solve na natin kanina, so y prime is equal to 1/2. Diba? Tapos ito yung x, ito yung y. So then solving for y prime prime, that is from this equation. So you will get y prime is 1/2. So that quantity squared, so divided by y, so which is equal to 4. So kaya ito ay, sorry, this should be negative. So kasi positive dito. So this is negative, no? So then this will be negative 1 over 16. Okay? So we have the value of y prime prime. Okay? Okay ba? So then, so meron na tayong y prime. So meron na tayong y prime prime. Diba? So therefore, so next step na natin dito, diba? So is to solve for the radius of curvature. Diba? So pero, okay, so pakita ko muna sa inyo isa pang way natin para mag-solve ng y prime prime, that is by using this equation. Pag ginamit natin yung equation na to, diretso lang yan. So y prime prime is the derivative nitong 2 over y, diba? So with respect to x. Kaya magiging lang siyang negative, diba? 2, diba? We can factor out the constant first. Constant natin ay 2. So then derivative ng 1 over y is negative 1 over y squared. Okay? So then since this is y, diba? So tapos this is with respect to x. So kailangan natin itong i-multiply sa y prime. Diba? So by chain rule. Okay? So kaya this will be negative 2 times y prime. So ang y prime natin is 1/2 divided by y squared. Ang y natin ay 4. So this is 4 squared. Okay? So cancel yung 2 dito. So this is equal to negative 1 over 16 pa rin. Diba? So pareho lang ilalabas na y prime prime. Okay? So kaya dalawang possible way to solve for y prime prime. So actually meron pa yung ibang ways. So pero kayo na yung bahala kung gusto niyo siyang i-solve. No? Or kung gusto niyo gamitin yung kung meron kayong gustong gamitin na ibang method. No? So basta importante makuha niyo yung y prime saka yung y prime prime. Okay? So therefore, so radius of curvature, direct formula. So again, this is 1. Okay, so plus y prime. Quantity squared, so raised to 3 halves. Divided by, so the absolute value of y prime prime. Okay? So then this will be given by 1 plus, ano yung y prime natin? 1/2. So this quantity squared, so this is raised to 3 halves. Divided by, so we have absolute value ng 1 over, negative 1 over 16. Okay? So let's try to solve this. Okay? So may calculator kayo dyan, so try nyo rin. Diba? So para masanay kayo sa calculations. No? So divided by 1/16. Okay, so you will get 22.4. Okay, so we have letter B. Okay? So any questions? Diba? So para dito sa differential calculus. I think ito yung last part natin ng diff calc. No? Okay. So any questions? Diba? Sa akin, so yan yung differential calculus natin. Sa akin, so mga basics lang yung sinama ko dun sa lecture natin. No? Okay? So merong ilang medyo mahaba yung solution, diba? So pero again, mga basic concepts lang yung ginamit natin. Okay? So are there any questions? Okay.
Recording stopped.
Okay, so then, so buksan ko lang yung next topic natin, so which is integral calculus. Okay, so again, buksan ko lang yung material natin. Okay, so may questions ba kayo? So habang binubuksan ko yung lecture na. So again, so message lang kayo sa akin, sorry, kayo ng hand. Okay? So start natin yung integral calculus.
Recording in progress.
Okay? So integral, diba, or integration is tinatawag din natin as antiderivative. Ay, nakuha ba? Or anti-differentiation. Okay, nakuha ba? So basically, so ang idea natin is, let's say, diba, so we have function f of x, diba? So be equal to the derivative ng, okay, so small f of x, okay? So then if we get the integral, so ng f of x dx, diba? So then this is just given by small f of x plus constancy, no? So actually ito yung huwag niyo kakalimutan pagdating sa integration, although pagdating naman sa board exam, kadalasan lahat ng choices may plus c. So kaya hindi niyo rin mamimiss, diba? Pagdating sa board exams natin. Okay? So nagkakaroon tayo ng plus c dyan kasi ang derivative naman ng constant ay 0, diba? So kaya basically kahit mag-add ka dito ng derivative with respect to x ng constant c, so parang nag-cancel lang to. Diba? Okay, so again, so yun yung parang definition ng integration. Kabaliktaran lang siya ng derivative. So pag alam natin na isang expression is the derivative of some function, so if we get the integral of that, diba? So then that will be the original function. No, so again, so that is the concept natin pagdating sa integral. Diba? So kaya basically dito, baliktad. Diba? So kumbaga pag nakita natin yung form, diba? So dun sa derivative natin, diba? So then kailangan nating malaman anong function yung i-derivative natin para magkaroon ka ng ganung form. No, so nagpapahirap lang dito sa integral calculus or sa integration na part, diba? So minsan, so hindi natin basta-basta nakikita yung form, diba? Especially pag gumamit na tayo ng product rule sa differentiation, ng quotient rule, chain rule, etc. etc. Nagsisimplify kasi, diba? And marami tayong pwedeng gawin, diba? So we can multiply we can multiply 1, diba? So para mag-multiply ng 1, so we have an expression divided by the same expression. So para nag-multiply ka lang ng 1, diba? We can add, diba? So number, so and its additive inverse para nag-add up ka lang ng 0, diba? So and so on and so forth, diba? So again, so there's different methods, okay? So para makapag-solve tayo ng mga ganung uri ng problem. And isa sa mga method na yun is yung tinatawag na trigonometric substitution. So which is yung pinapagamit dito sa problem. Okay? So pero actually kung alam naman natin yung idea na kahit anong method yung gamitin natin sa integration, the result will be the same. Diba? So kaya kung magti-think tayo dito outside of the box, no? So pwede tayong gumawa ng something, diba? Or pwede natin itong gawa ng paraan na hindi na tayo magti-trigonometric substitution. Okay? Okay ba? So actually yun yung una natin gagawin dito. Sobrang ikli lang ng solution dito actually, no? Hindi naman sa sobrang ikli, siguro mga medyo mas maikli siya compared pag nag-trig sub kayo dito sa problem na to. Okay? Okay ba? There's an easier way to solve this, diba? And naitago lang siya dito sa question na to kasi sinabi sa problem use trigonometric substitution. Kaya syempre 'di ba, so kung nagbo-board exam ka so tapos medyo panic mode, 'di ba? So then magti-trig sub ka syempre kasi yun yung sinabi sa problem. So pero again, we do not need to follow that, 'di ba? So basta meron kang alam na way para i-solve yung integral mo, so kahit hindi ka mag-trig sub okay lang basta makuha mo yung final answer, 'di ba? So let's try. Okay, so papakita ko muna yung solution natin so without using trigonometric substitution. So mamaya na natin gawin yung calculator method. Medyo mahaba din kasi yung calculator method natin. So let's do first the substitution method. No? So again, hindi to trig sub, diba? Substitution lang. So substitution method, ano yung common natin ginagamit? Usually yung mga nasa loob ng square root, diba? Nasa denominator, etc. etc. Okay, so kaya dito ang gagamitin ko sa substitution is yung nasa loob ng denominator. Okay? So again, so this is just substitution method, the most basic integration method na meron tayo, diba? Okay? So again, so hindi pa ako papasok dun sa trig sub. So mamaya papakita ko rin sa inyo yung trig sub. Makikita natin yung difference, diba? So ng solution, diba? So kaya pag mga gantong problem, kahit wag niyo muna i-follow yung nakalagay sa question, diba? Pag may nakita kayo mas madaling solution, so then try to use that solution, diba? So dito nakita ko yung solution dati na substitution method nung lumabas na sa board exam kasi pag tinignan mo kasi itong nasa loob na to, pag kinuha mo yung derivative nito is 2x. So therefore kailangan natin ng x, diba? So ito, pwede nating ihiwalay sa x times x squared and yung x squared nandito, diba? So kaya there's a way, diba? So para ma-simplify natin to so without using trigonometric substitution. Okay? So magigets nyo rin yan sa pag medyo sanay na kayo sa mga integration problems. Okay? Naka ba? So practice lang naman yan. So practice lang kayo ng practice ng integration. So kung meron kayo mga reference book pa nyo reference book nyo pa nung college, diba? So sa calculus nyo. So usually marami dong mga pinapa-integrate, no? So kahit mga simple lang. So magsanay lang kayo doon. So then madali nyo makikita, magkakaroon kayo ng parang trick or technique, diba? So paano kayo substitute pagdating sa integral, no? And darating din kayo sa point na hindi nyo na kailangan mag-substitution method. Kumbaga yung substitution method, iniisip nyo na lang, so tapos diretso na kayo dun sa final answer. No? So nangyari sa amin yung dati nung college. No? So nung 53 namin, yun yung calculus 1, diba? Nagsa-substitution method pa kami, then biglang pag-jump namin ng 54, yung calculus 2, yung prof namin, hindi na nagsa-substitution method. Dumediretso na siya dun sa integration, diba? So kumbaga, parang nakikita na niya kaagad yung substitution. So tapos dire-diretso niya kaagad. So kaya medyo nahirapan kami dati nung calculus 2. Okay? So pero again, so ganun din yung mangyayari sa inyo. So if you practice and practice. No? Kaya dito pag nakita niyo yung x squared plus 25, okay, so isipin niyo kaagad, pwede ba natin itong gawing substitution? If I get the derivative of this, that's 2x. 2x dx, diba? So kaya kailangan natin ng x dx sa numerator, may matitirang x squared, but tong x squared na yon, so is pwede nating palitan base dun sa substitution natin. No? So okay, so pakita ko sa inyo yung step by step. No? So magle-let muna ako ng variable u, for example. So again, ang gagamitin ko yung nasa denominator or yung nasa loob ng radical natin. So we have x squared plus 25. So then from here, so if I get du, so du will be given by 2x dx. No? Okay? So kaya again, gaya na sabi ko kanina, kailangan natin ng x dx dun sa numerator. Okay? So then, so from here, so may matitira kasing x squared dun sa numerator. So then, kailangan natin i-solve si x squared. Kasi dapat malipat natin lahat ng variable sa u. So then this will be u minus 25. And yung maganda dito, walang square root. Diba? Okay? Kumbaga, walang square root na ma-form sa numerator. So kaya simplified, diba? So yung form ng equation natin. Okay? So then, so if we use this substitution, so yung integral, okay? So ng x cubed divided by square root of x squared plus 25. Okay, so will be, okay, so again, so kailangan natin ng 2x dx na term. So again, so pag kinuha natin yung x dx dito, may matitirang x squared dito sa numerator. So this will be x squared. So integral, diba? So may matitirang x squared sa numerator. Okay. So this is x squared. So then this is divided by, okay, sa denominator, so ganun pa rin, so square root of x squared plus 25. So then ang gusto nating ma-form dito is 2x dx, di ba? So again, para maging du. Okay, so pero since walang 2 dito, so ibig sabihin kailangan natin i-counter yung 2, di ba? Since nag-multiply ka ng 2 dyan, kailangan natin mag-divide ng 2. So therefore, I will multiply 1/2 here. So para pwedeng i-cancel to, di ba? Okay, so pag kinancel natin yan, multiply natin to, balik lang tayo sa original equation. Diba? So again, so yun yung multiply divide. Diba? Yung para nag-multiply ka lang ng 1. Kung ano yung minultiply mo, yun din yung i-divide mo. Okay? Sa additive inverse naman, kung ano yung i-add mo, yun din yung isusubtract mo. Diba? Okay? So then, so by substitution method, so this will be equal to 1/2. So integral, ano yung x squared natin? That's u minus 25. Okay, so then this is divided by, so ano yung nasa denominator natin? So yung x squared plus 25 is u. So therefore, that is square root of u. So then, 2x dx is du. Diba? Okay? So dito makikita na natin yung magiging solution. Diba? So 1/2, so integral. So yung square root of u, so note. So square root of u is the same as u to the 1/2. Diba? So in terms of rational exponent. Kaya dito, we have u to the 1 divided by u to the 1/2. So we have u to the 1/2. No? Okay? So then minus, okay, so this will be 25. So then we have, okay, so 1 over u to the 1/2. So then that's u to the negative 1/2. Diba? So then this quantity, du. Okay? So then after nito, power rule. So ano yung power rule natin? So again, derivative with respect to x ng x to the n. Diba? So is equal to, so we have n x to the n minus 1. Kaya pag binaliktad natin to, so from here, dadalhin natin siya papunta dito. Okay? Nakuha ba? So kaya ang kailangan natin gawin, so para mailipat natin dito is, una, yung exponent, dadagdagan natin ng 1. Diba? So again, so para bumalik siya dun sa n. Okay? So tapos, para mawala tong n na to, kailangan natin tong i-divide ng n. Diba? So kaya after natin mag-add ng exponent, yung lalabas na exponent, i-divide natin para matanggal yung constant. Diba? So therefore, so the integral, so ng x to the n, diba? So then this is dx. So is equal to, so again, yung exponent, dadagdagan natin ng 1. So then i-divide natin kung ano yung lalabas na value. So then this is plus constancy. Diba? So again, that's power rule for integration. Okay? So kaya dito, this will be 1/2. No? So this is multiplied by, so this is u to the 3/2 divided by 3/2 minus 25. So then we have u to the 1/2 divided by 1/2. So then this is plus constancy. No? Okay? So kahit ilabas na natin dito yung plus constancy. Huh? So 1/2. So we have 3/2 here. So denominator, 1/2 dito. So therefore we can cancel yung 1/2 saka yung 1/2. No? So may 3 na matitira. So then itong 1/2 dito, pwede na rin natin i-cancel. No? So kaya matitira sa atin is 1/3. So again, ano yung u natin? Ito. So palitan natin yung u ng x squared plus 25. So this is raised to 3/2. No? So then minus, okay, so we have 25. Okay, so then this will be u to the 1/2 plus 1 is u to the 3/2. No, sorry. Yung u natin is ito, x squared plus 25. So that's x squared plus 25, so then raised to the 1/2. No? Okay, so then that's plus constancy. So therefore, so this is our final answer. Okay? Okay? So simple lang yung solution. Diba? Okay, so kung iisipin natin. Diba? Okay? So substitution method lang. So kaya na nating isolve kaagad yung problem. So this is letter A. Okay. So 1/3 raised to 3/2 negative 25 then raised to 1/2. Okay? So yun yung nakuha natin. No? So we have this. Okay? So ngayon ng board exam na lumabas to, diba? So April 2016 kasi ito lumabas, board exam namin yun. Tapos naulit nung April 2017 and naulit pa ata ng one time. No? So hindi ko lang maalala kung kailan. Okay? So pero again, nung lumabas to sa board exam, meron ditong troubleshoot actually, 'di ba? So yung troubleshoot dito wala to. Okay? Okay ba? So yan yung ito yung makikita niyo sa choices. Okay? Okay ba? So kaya kung sinolve niyo siya step by step, 'di ba? Marirealize niyo na ito yung tamang sagot, letter A. So kasi lahat to wala, 'di ba? So wala to, wala yan, wala, no? Okay? So ganyan yung choices, 'di ba? So kaya marirealize niyo letter A yung pinakamalapit sa nakukuha nating sagot, no? Okay? So pero pag nag-calculator method kayo sa problem na to, so hindi niyo ma-realize, 'di ba? So kung alin yung tama, 'di ba? So again, so unless i-solve niyo siya manually, 'di ba? Or i-solve niyo siya by hand. Kasi pag nag-step by step kayo, so makikita niyo na makikita niyo yung format, 'di ba? So ng equation, okay? And by step marirealize niyo kung bakit nawala tong 25 dun sa choices, okay? Okay ba? So may nakalimutan kasing step dyan, diba? So siguro doon sa book na pinagkunan ng examiner, may nakalimutang step. So kaya nawala yung 25. Okay? So doon sa trigonometric substitution. Okay? So any questions? Okay? So wala kayong question dyan. So let's proceed to the next solution. So yung next solution natin is by using trig sub. No? So pakita ko sa inyo yung sa trig sub. Okay. So this is using trig sub. No? So again, trig sub is trigonometric substitution. No? Okay, so sabi dito, so actually dito swerte tayo sa trig sub kasi sinabi na sa atin to. Usually kasi hindi to binibigay sa problem. Okay? Paano natin to malalaman? Depende doon sa nasa loob ng square root. Diba? Pag nasa loob ng square root, diba? So is ganito yung format. X squared plus A squared. So pag ganyan, diba? So tangent yung gagamitin nyo dito. Okay? Pag ang format naman sa atin is something like square root of x squared minus a squared, ang gagamitin nyo naman dito ay secant. Diba? Pag ang format naman sa atin ay square root of a squared minus x squared, ang gagamitin nyo dito ay sine. Okay? Okay ba? So yan yung trig sub natin. Okay? So again, so nakadepende na lang dun sa value dun sa loob kung ano yung gagamitin natin, yung exact na gagamitin natin sa problem. So dito kasi, okay, so this is considered as x squared plus 5 squared. So yun yung reason kaya meron kang 5 dito. No? Okay? So tapos again, tangent. So kasi ganito yung format. Nabaso ng binigay sa atin. Okay? So kaya ganito yung gagamitin natin sa trigonometric substitution. No? So using trig sub, so let x, okay, so be equal to, so 5 tangent of theta. So then if we solve for dx, diba? So dx will be 5 secant squared of theta. Diba? So let's simplify first so some values dun sa natin? Dun sa integration natin. So first, ano mangyayari dito sa square root of x squared plus 25? Diba? So then yung square root, okay, of x squared plus 25, diba? So will be given by square root of, yung x nga is gagawin nating 5 tan theta. So this quantity squared. Tapos yung 25 naman is simply 5 squared. Diba? So therefore, we can factor out yung 5 squared dito. So this will be 5 squared multiplied by, so we have tan squared theta plus 1. Diba? And if you're familiar with trigonometric identities, tan squared plus 1 is secant squared. So this will be 5 square root of secant squared theta. And square root ng secant squared theta is secant of theta. So therefore, so itong nasa denominator, magiging lang siyang 5 secant of theta. Diba? Yung nasa numerator, yung x, papalitan lang natin ito. Tapos yung dx, papalitan lang natin ito. Okay? Naka ba? So therefore, okay? So yung magiging integral natin, so will become, so this is integral, so ng 5 tangent of theta. So this quantity cubed. So ganyan denominator, magiging na lang secant of theta. Tapos yung dx naman natin ay secant squared theta. No? 5 secant squared of theta. Okay? So 5 secant squared of theta. Diba? So this is times. So 5 secant squared of theta. No? So then this is d theta multiplied by d theta. So, hindi ko nga naisulat dito yung. Okay, so dapat may naka-multiply dito na d theta. So kasi dx lang to. No? Okay? So then, so ito yung magiging equation natin. Diba? So tapos ito 5 second of theta dapat. Ano? So 5 second of theta. Okay? So therefore, so we can cancel this. 5 second of theta, tapos 5, tapos yung isang second of theta dito. So then, so what we will do is we will factor out 5 cubed. So that's 125. So factor out natin siya. So again, same way sa differential calculus, since pwede tayo mag-factor out ng constant, so sa antiderivative, so pwede rin tayo mag-factor out ng constant. No, pwede natin siyang ilabas ng integration. So tapos, so dito, ang gagawin ko, paghihiwalayin ko yung tangent squared saka tangent. So we can write this as tangent squared theta. Diba? So then, so this is multiplied by tangent of theta. Tapos meron ka pa ditong isang secant of theta. No? So again, so this quantity, d theta. Okay? So yung reason, kaya ako ginawa tong part na to, diba? So is recall. So again, so if you can remember from your calculus, diba? Okay? So kung alam niyo yung derivative ng tangent, diba? So the derivative with respect to x ng tangent of x, ano, ng secant of x, diba? Okay? So this is equal to, so tangent of x, secant of x, no? So kaya pag meron tayong ganitong form, so ibig sabihin pwede kong gamitin yung secant x sa substitution method, diba? And since tangent squared to, so okay, so gagamitin natin yung identity na tangent squared of theta plus 1, so is equal to secant squared of theta. So meaning, tangent squared of theta can be written in terms of secant. Diba? So kaya mangyayari dito, this will be 125, so integral, so ng secant squared theta, so then minus 1. So then this will be, so we have tangent of theta, secant of theta, d theta. Diba? So pag nag-let ako dito, so ng u be equal to secant of theta, so then du, so will be tangent of theta, secant of theta, d theta. No? So by substituting here, so you will get 125 integral, diba? So ng u squared minus 1, so then this will be du. Okay? Okay ba? So or this will become, so 125 multiplied by, so this will be u cubed divided by 3 minus u. So then this quantity plus constancy. Okay? Okay ba? So any questions para dito? Okay. Okay? So then yung next step natin syempre is kailangan natin siyang ibalik in terms of x, diba? So na ba yung in-assume natin? So again, so we assume this, diba? Or we let this substitution. So mula dito makukuha natin that tangent of theta is equal to x over 5. So therefore, we can consider a right triangle, diba? So with an angle of theta such that ito yung opposite side, diba? Kasi ito tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so then ito naman yung adjacent side, so that's 5. Okay, so meaning, so this hypotenuse is square root of x squared plus 25. So ano kailangan natin? Secant of theta, diba? So remember, secant of theta is the reciprocal of cosine of theta, and cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So ibig sabihin, secant is hypotenuse over adjacent, diba? So kaya x squared plus 25 divided by 5. Okay? Kaya itong u, which is equal to secant of theta, pwedeng palitan natin ng square root of x squared plus 25 divided by 5. Okay? So then, substituting here, so this will be 125 over 3 multiplied by, so this is square root of x squared plus 25. So remember that square root can be written as raised to 1/2. So kaya gawin ko na itong raised to 1/2. So then this is divided by 3. Kasi ito naka-raise pa pala to sa 3. Okay? So then, so we have minus u. So again, that is square root of x squared plus 25 divided by 5. Okay? So then this is plus constancy. Okay? So therefore, so 125 lang pala to. Okay? So therefore, so this will be, kulang pa pala to. Sorry, rewrite ko lang, no? So again, nakalimutan ko kasi yung over 5, no? So again, so this will be x squared plus 25, so raised to 1/2, no? So then this is divided by 5, so this quantity raised to the third power. Tapos itong square root dito, so gawin ko na tong raised to 1/2 din. No? Okay? So this is raised to 1 half. Okay? Okay? So then, so 5 raised to the third power is 125. So then that will cancel. No? So kaya makikita nyo dito, diba? So we have, okay? So 125, okay? Magka-cancel yung 125 dyan. So then yung matitira dito is we have x squared plus 25 raised to 3 halves. So we have x squared plus 25. So then this is raised to 3 halves. No? So then this is divided by 3. Tapos itong 125 divided by 5 dito. So again, that's equal to 25. No? So kaya this will be x squared plus 25 raised to 1 half. Okay, so this will be plus constancy. So we have our final answer. So pareho lang nung kanina. Diba? So although as you can see, so medyo mahaba yung solution. Diba? So kasi marami tayong ginawang substitution. So una, nag-trig sub muna tayo. So then we have the basic substitution method. Okay? Okay ba? So makikita natin dito na ito yung reason kaya again nawala yung 25 dun sa choices sa board exam. No? So nung kinancel niya to, so probably nakalimutan niyo na yung 125 dito. Or nakalimutan niya na mayroong 125 dito. So hindi niya na divide ng 5 right here. Okay? Okay ba? So kaya nagkaroon ng type ng parang typographical, diba? So or miscalculation so doon sa board exam. Okay? So pero yun yung pinakamalapit. So kaya yun yung isasagot natin, no? So I think no 2017 tumama na yun nasa choices. Okay? Siguro napansin na siya ng examiner, no? So any questions para dito? Okay. So kaya yun pa rin yung sagot natin. Diba? So we have letter A. Okay? So then, diba? So again, so yung next solution natin, so is using the calculator method. So let me open our calculator. Okay. Okay? So let's try to solve this one, no? So again, sa calculator natin, so kung papansin natin doon sa integration niya, so diba? So this integration is actually contains limits of integration, diba? Therefore, this is a definite integral na tinatawag, okay? So as you can see, this is an indefinite integral, so kasi wala tayong limits of integration. Okay? Nakuha ba? So therefore, so ang gagamitin natin dito is yung tinatawag natin na fundamental theorem of calculus, diba? So I think this is the second or first ata the first fundamental theorem of calculus, diba? So yung sinasabi sa atin doon is okay, so paano tayo nagso-solve ng definite integral, diba? So again, so let's say so we have this capital F of x, diba? So which is equal to the derivative of small f, diba? So with respect to x, okay? So and this is continuous so on the interval AB, okay? So therefore, if we get the integral, so from A to B, so ng f of x dx, diba? So then, so this will just be equal to, okay, so we have f of b minus f of a. Okay? Nakaba? So ito yung sinasabi niya sa atin. So therefore, ang idea natin is, diba? So remember yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, for the indefinite integral, the integral of f of x dx is simply equal to so f of x plus constant c, diba? So kaya kung i-compare natin siya dun sa definite integral natin, basically ito rin yung ginamit natin. Tanggalin lang natin yung plus constant c, so we can remove this dun sa choices. We will focus on this part. Okay, nakuha ba? So tapos papalitan lang natin yung x ng b, so kung ano man yung gagamitin natin dito. So tapos ng a, kung ano man yung gagamitin natin dito, then we just subtract. Okay? So we just need to make sure na continuous yung function natin. So dun sa gagamitin nating value. Okay? Okay ba? So kaya dito, so pwede tayo mag-set ng limit, diba, so of integration. For example, ang gagamitin ko dito is from 0 to 1. Okay? So para simple lang, diba? So may value naman to at 0, diba? So this will be 5. So at 0, this is 0. So therefore, may value tayo at 0. At x is equal to 1 naman, so this is 26, this is 1. So meron din tayong value. And anything in between 0 and 1, defined naman yung function natin. So kaya wala tayong problema dun sa 0 to 1. Okay? So then, so let's try that. Diba? So, okay, so ibig sabihin, ito yung gagamitin natin as B, ito yung gagamitin natin as A. So para magamit natin to. Okay? So kaya gagamitin natin to, diba? So ito yung gagamitin nating function. Papalitan lang natin yung, okay, so yung value ng x. Okay, nakuha ba? So for the other choices, kayo na lang yung mag-try. Diba? So kasi yung sa ibang choices, pag tinry nyo yung A is 0 saka B is 1, diba? So then hindi nyo makukuha yung masosolve natin sa integral. Diba? So first, so let's solve the integral. So integral from 0 to 1. So ng x to the third power, so divided by square root of x squared plus 25. So then this is dx. No? So try natin i-solve sa calculator. Okay. So we have alpha x cubed. So then this is divided by, so square root of, so we have x squared, so then plus 25. No? So this is from 0 to 1. Okay. So we have 0.049348. So 0.049348. Okay, nakuha ba? So again, so yan yung ating equation. Diba? So yan yung ating value na kailangan hanapin. So again, pag nilet natin to as f of x, diba? So again, hindi natin sasama yung plus c kasi basically baliwala lang kasi pag may plus c ka dito, may plus c ka dito, pag pinag-subtract natin yan, magka-cancel din. Diba? So kaya kahit hindi na natin i-consider yung plus c. So kaya ito lang. Diba? So again, una, papalitan natin yung x ng a, ng b. Diba? So f of b. So then next is papalitan natin siya ng a. So then we subtract. Okay? Nakuha ba? So therefore, okay, so input ko muna yung given. So that's 1/3. Okay. So then, so this is multiplied by, so we have alpha x squared. So then plus 25, then raised to 3 halves. Okay. Minus 25 multiplied by, so we have x squared. So then plus 25, so then this is raised to 1/2. Okay. So again, so ito na yung function natin. So first, let's evaluate this at x is equal to 1. So then, yan yung isa-save natin muna kay b. Okay. So then, balik tayo dito. Okay. So then, we calculate this at 0. Okay. So yan yung isa-save natin kay a. So then again, after nun, isusubtract natin yung dalawa. Diba? So that's b minus a. So then we get, okay, so as you can see, parehong-pareho yung nakuha natin. Diba? So therefore, so this will give us, so itong choice na to, will give us 0.049348. Okay? Nakuha ba? So which means yan talaga yung tamang sagot. No? So again, try din natin si B. Tapos again, for the other choices, kayo na lang yung mag-try. No? So pag ita-try natin si B, so balik lang ako dito. So ano lang ba yung pinagkaiba niya? So dapat plus to. Diba? So magigilang tong plus. Okay? So dun sa letter B. So then, so calculate natin kay 1. So then yan. So save ko ngayon kay B. So then, balik tayo dito. So calculate natin at 0. So then save natin kay B. Kay A. So then, so B minus A. Okay? So we get 5.000324. Diba? So this will give us 5.000324. No? So which is again, so malayo na siya dun sa nakuha nating sagot. So kailan natin mali yung B. So again, so try nyo rin sa ibang choices. Diba? So kasi dyan nyo makikita kung okay? So dyan nyo makikita kung mali ba talaga yung nasa ibang choices. Diba? So ang alam ko palaki ng value. Diba? So from A to D. Okay? So kaya try nyo na lang. Okay? So any questions sa para dito? Okay, sa trigonometric substitution. Okay? So then, so let's move to the next topic. No? Okay. So this is another integration. Diba? So evaluate the integral of sine x raised to the 6th power. So and the limits from 0 to pi over 2. No? Okay. So this time, so we want the integral. Diba? So ng sine x. Okay, so to the 6th power. So sine to the 6th power ng x. Dx, so this is from 0 to pi over 2. Okay? So let's try to solve this first using the calculator. No? Kasi actually pwede nyo i-diretso sa calculator. So although medyo annoying lang siya ng konti kasi medyo matagal siyang i-solve ng calculator. No? So again, make sure naka-radians mode kayo. So set up nyo lang sa radians mode. Okay? Kung hindi man kayo naka-radians mode, gamitin nyo tong DRG function. Tapos gamitin nyo tong R. So again, so para alam ng calculator na naka-radians yung sinosolve nyo. No? So again, para maiwasan nyo magkamali sa mga gantong uri ng problem. Okay? So kasi, pag naka-degree kasi yung calculator, madalas nagkakamali sa integration, saka differentiation ng calculator. So this will be pi over 2. So kahit i-convert nyo to sa degree, kahit gawin nyo itong 90 degrees, diba? So there's a chance na iba pa rin yung lalabas pag naka-degree mode kayo. So yun yung lalabas. So we have 0.49087. Okay. So pag medyo luma na yung calculator nyo, medyo matagal na itong isolve ng calculus. No? Okay, so kaya ito yung sagot natin. So we have letter A. Okay? But again, so there's actually a faster way so para i-solve to. Okay? Okay ba? So especially kung hindi na sana yung calculators nyo sa mga complicated solving. So kumbaga lumalaban na lang siya dun sa mga common natin na operations, 'di ba? Sa mga addition, subtraction, multiplication, division lang. So pwede natin gamitin yung Wallis formula, no? So kasi ito gamit yung calculator, 'di ba? So na-solve natin kaagad. Okay? So now let's try using, 'di ba? So yung tinatawag natin na Wallis formula. So yung Wallis formula is basically anong tawag dito? Okay? So siya yung parang formula natin para mabawasan yung exponent, 'di ba, ng sine at cosine sa integration. Okay? Tama ba? So yan. So meron kasing tawag doon, 'di ba? So yung parang isang formula so na nagpapa-simplify so doon sa equation natin. Okay? Tama ba? So using Wallis formula, 'di ba? So ang importante dito is yung limits of integration natin is from 0 to pi over 2 lang. Okay? Nakuha ba? So yun yung tatandaan nyo. So then, okay, so pag meron sa ating given na integral, diba? So from 0 to pi over 2, so ng sine to the m of x, no? So then kahit meron pa yung kasamang cosine, so then dx, diba? So this is always equal to, so we have, okay, so yung m minus 1, so then this is multiplied by m minus 3, okay, so and so on, hanggang umabot tayo sa 3 or 1. So then multiply this by, so n minus 1 times n minus 3 and so on hanggang umabot tayo sa 2 or 1. So then we divide this whole thing. Okay? So we divide this whole thing, diba? So by m plus n. So this is multiplied by m plus n minus 2 and so on. So hanggang umabot tayo sa 2 or 1. So then this whole quantity multiplied by alpha. Okay? Okay ba? So again, so ito yung Wallis formula na tinatawag. Okay? So then yung alpha natin, diba? So yung alpha is either 0, either 1. Okay? So this is either 1 or pi over 2. No? So pi over 2 yung gagamitin natin pag yung m saka n natin are both even number. Ito yung gagamitin natin otherwise. Okay? Okay ba? So again, so yun yung tinatawag nating Wallis formula. So now, exemptions natin, diba, is if m is equal to n, if m is equal to 1, or n is equal to 1, okay, nakuha ba? So pag yung m natin is equal to 1, or yung n natin is equal to 1, yung buong term nila, so will just be equal to 1. Diba? So basically, pag nangyari to, diba, so then yung m minus 1, so times m minus 3, and so on, so will just be equal to 1. Okay, nakuha ba? Pag ito naman yung nangyari, diba? So then yung n minus 1 times n minus 3 and so on, so this will just be equal to 1. So kumbaga ika-cancel nyo lang yung buong expression nila so dun sa equation, diba? So that's also true if m is equal to 0 saka n is equal to 0. So tatanggalin nyo lang yan dun sa equation, diba? So that's why sa problem na to, makikita natin na yung m is equal to 6, so yun yung exponent ni sine, yung n natin is equal to 0, diba? So unang-una, since n is equal to 0, so pasok siya dito, so tatanggalin natin to sa equation. So therefore, ang matitira lang sa equation, so therefore, so yung integral from 0 to pi over 2, so ng sine m to the 6, sine to the m, diba, so of x, dx, diba? Mawawala yung n minus 1 daw hanggang 2 or 1. So ibig sabihin, ang matitira lang dito is yung m minus 1, so then times m minus 3 and so on hanggang umabot sa 2 or 1. So then this is divided by, okay, so we have m plus n, so times m plus n minus 2 and so on. So hanggang umabot yan sa 2 or 1. So then this is multiplied by alpha. No? So again, mawawala lang tong expression na to. So yun nasa numerator. Okay? Nakuha ba? And since pareho tong even, diba? So these are both even number. So ibig sabihin, ito yung gagamitin natin na alpha. Diba? So pi over 2. So let's substitute. So m is 6. So 6 minus 1. Okay? So 6 minus 1 is 5. So diretso ko na. So 6 minus 1 is 5. 6 minus 3 is 3. Then yung kasunod ng minus 3 is minus 5. 6 minus 5 is 1. Since umabot na tayo sa 1, so then stop na tayo dito. So kung mapapansin nyo, diba? So nagsusubtract lang tayo ng 2 every time. Okay? So kaya madaling tandaan sa Wallis formula. Diba? Okay? So just subtract 2. Diba? So every time. Okay? Hanggang umabot ka sa 2 or 1. Okay? So then sa denominator naman, m plus n, 6 plus 0 ay 6. So then ganun din yan. Subtract ka lang ng subtract ng 2. So kaya after nito we have 4. So after nito we have 2. So pero again hanggang 2 or 1 lang. Kaya stop na tayo dito. So then multiplied by alpha. So yung alpha natin is pi over 2. Okay? So then solving this. Okay? Okay? So kaya actually madali lang siyang gamitin. Diba? So kasi multiplication lang. Saka ratio lang yung gagawin. Diba? So then this is multiplied by pi over 2. Okay? So mas mabilis na dun sa integration ng calculator. Diba? So performance-wise or kahit yung pag-i-input natin mas mabilis. No? Okay? So pareho lang ilalabas sa sagot. Diba? So again, sa inyo Wallis formula. So kung familiar din naman kayo sa trigonometric integration, diba? Yung pag nag-i-integrate kayo ng powers of sine, saka powers of cosine, so pwede nyo rin gamitin yan. Okay? So medyo mahaba nga lang yung solution. Okay? Nakuha. So for example, dito kasi yung sine to the 6th, okay? So pwede mo siyang isipin as sine. Okay? So itong sine to the 6th, diba? So pwede mo siyang isipin as, okay? So one way so of solving this is we can treat this as sine squared x. So this is raised to the 6th power. Diba? Okay? So again, so that's one way. Raised to the 3rd power, sorry. Okay? So raised to the 3rd power. Okay? So tapos yung sine squared x kasi, diba? So pwede mo siyang isipin as, okay? So by using half angle identity, no? Okay? So sine squared x is simply 1 minus half angle. Okay? Diba? So cosine 2x, double angle identity pala, no? So this is 1 minus 2 sine squared x. Diba? So again, so ito yung double angle identity. So pwede mo itong isipin as 1 minus cosine 2x divided by 2. Diba? So then this quantity raised to the 3rd power. Okay? Nakaba? So tapos pag sinimplify nyo to, so we can factor out yung 1/2 to the 3rd power. That's 1/8. So then this will be 1 minus 3 cosine 2x. Diba? So then plus 3 cosine squared 2x. So then this is plus cosine cubed. So of minus na pala to. So minus, diba? So we have cosine cubed of 2x. Okay, nakuha ba? So then solve nyo lang to individually. So ito kaya na natin tong i-solve. Ito kaya na natin tong i-solve, diba? So ito, papalitan pa natin tong cosine squared ng. So we have 1 plus cosine to the 4x over 2. So again, galing din to sa double angle identity, no? Okay? So then, so ito kaya na natin tong integrate. Kaya din natin integrate yung cosine lang. Tapos ito kaya din natin tong. Ito naman, paghihiwalayin natin yan sa cosine of 2x saka yung cosine squared. No? Okay? So kasi ito, pwede natin gawing 1 minus sine squared. Tapos derivative ng sine ay cosine. So kaya substitution method lang. Okay? Okay ba? So kaya again, so yun yung isang solution. So pero medyo mahaba, di ba, kung iisipin natin. So lalo na pag mas malaki yung exponent, 'di ba? So kaya either gumamit kayo ng calculator or Wallis formula lang, no? So ang limitation lang naman ng Wallis formula is 0 to pi over 2 lang yung kaya niyang i-solve, no? So if ever na hindi 0 to pi over 2 yung given sa atin, there's a possibility na gagamit kayo ng properties, 'di ba? Especially trigonometric identities, 'di ba? Saka yung anong tawag doon? So yung symmetry, 'di ba? So na properties ng integration. Yung pag-add function sa pag-even function yung sinosolve nyo. Okay? So any questions so far? Okay.
Recording stopped.
Okay? So wala kayong questions, 'di ba? So then let's have a short break again. So again, so 15 minutes break. So so mag 3 PM na sa akin. So let's continue by 3:15. Okay? Nakuha ba? So again, so short break muna tayo. Okay? So pahinga muna. No? Okay? So kasi medyo mahirap din yung integration. Okay? So yan. Okay? So again, so let's continue by 3:15 p.m. Okay? Makaba. So tingnan natin kung ano yung matapos natin today's integral. So then we will continue, I think, tomorrow. No? Okay? So yan. Okay? So let's continue, diba? So yung discussion natin.
Recording in progress.
Okay? So this time, so let's discuss area bounded, diba? So by a rectangular curve. Okay? Ako ba? So yan naman yung i-discuss natin. So isa to sa mga application ng integration or ng integral calculus pagdating sa board exam. No? So pagdating kasi sa integral calculus sa board examination, yung usual na lumalabas, diba? Especially sa REES applications. Diba? So pero meron din lumalabas na basic integration lang or kumbaga integration problem lang. So kagaya ng sinolve natin kanina, so yung trig sub, diba? So na problem. So tapos yung tapos yung ano tawag dito? Yung Wallis formula, so na problem, diba? So may mga lumalabas na ganun lang pagdating sa board exam. So actually nung September 2021 so na board exam, so sa REE, merong lumabas na parang square root ata ng 1 minus cosine x, no? So integral lang. Okay? So tapos yun lang isosolve, diba? So may mga ganun na lumalabas pagdating sa board examination. Okay? So then aside from that, so we have the applications. So maraming applications yung integral, diba? So we have area, volume, centroid, moment of inertia. So pero ang pinaka-common dyan is area. So kaya yan yung unang-unang kailangan yung aralin pagdating sa integral calculus. No? Pag sinabi natin rectangular curve, so nakabase tayo sa rectangular coordinate system. So luckily for us sa area, two-dimensional lang. Diba? So kaya madali lang yung integration. Okay? So again, so rectangular curve is based on the x and the y coordinates, diba? So or x and y. So kaya basically, sa rectangular curve, so we have y as a function of x or x as a function of y, diba? So again, so dalawa yung possible way, diba? Or yung common ways natin para mag-solve ng area bounded by rectangular curve. So let's say we have this curve, diba? So and we have this curve, diba? Okay. Okay, so we have this curve here. Itong dalawang curves na to. So ito yung points of intersection natin. Pag nagsasolve kayo ng area bounded by dalawang curve, no? Ang una nyo kailangan i-solve dyan is yung boundaries. Diba? And yung boundaries natin, makikita natin usually sa mga points of intersection. Diba? So kaya dito, so we have this boundary. Okay, so and this boundary here. Okay, nakabasa din. So let's say this is our A, so then this is B. Okay, so again, that's in the x coordinate. Diba? So in terms of the y coordinate naman, so we have this one and this one. Diba? So tawagin naman natin to as C and B, no? So kaya kung i-integrate natin siya in this direction, so then ito yung magiging limits of integration natin. So then kung dito naman natin siya i-integrate, so ito yung limits of integration natin. Diba? So again, so one way, diba? So para mag-solve nito is by using, so we have yung tinatawag nating vertical strips. So vertical strip, diba? So gagawa lang kayo ng rectangle, diba? So basically, so we just consider, for example, this rectangle. Okay, so we have this rectangle here. Okay, nakaba. So then you can imagine na parang pwede kasi natin tong hatiin into parang rectangles, diba? So yung area natin. Okay, so yun habang pinapaliit natin yung thickness ng rectangle natin, so then mas na-approximate natin yung actual area so bounded by the curve, no? So let's consider for example this rectangle here, diba? So then yung thickness nito, makikita natin is along the x direction, along the x-axis. Therefore, this is delta x. No? So kaya pag in-approach natin to kay 0, diba? So pag pinaliit natin yung delta x, so yung delta x natin will approach dx. Diba? Okay? So as for the height naman ng rectangle natin, so ito yung height ng rectangle. So makikita natin na if we consider yung point natin sa curve, diba? So again, so this will just be given by, so again, so this is given by y, diba? So nung upper curve, diba? So y upper. So then ito naman, so mula dito hanggang doon sa x-axis, this will be y lower, diba? So kaya alam natin, so this is simply y upper minus y lower, diba? And since i-consider natin lahat ng vertical strips na rectangle natin mula dito hanggang dito, diba? So kukunan natin ng rectangle yan. Therefore, ito yung direction ng integration natin. Therefore, the limits of integration is from A to B. Madali lang naman siya malaman kasi dx, kayong x yung titignan natin. Diba? So therefore, so if we consider that, diba? So the differential area, that is the area of the rectangle, so it's simply base times height. So that's y upper minus y lower. So then this is multiplied by dx. Diba? So therefore, solving for the area, integrate lang natin yan. Diba? So we have area, so will just be equal to integral. So now y upper minus y lower, so then dx. So then this will be from A to B. So again, so this is one way to solve this. Diba? So you can imagine that the other way is by using horizontal strips. Now, so horizontal strips naman natin, we consider a horizontal rectangle. So like this one. Okay, nakuha ba? So horizontal naman yung gagamitin natin. Okay, so kung horizontal rectangle yung gagamitin natin, so we are dealing here with x coordinates. No? So again, this is x in the left, diba? So boundary. Tapos ito naman yung x natin, so in the right boundary. Diba? So kaya makukuha natin na yung length na to, or yung length ng rectangle natin is the x sa right boundary minus x sa left boundary. Diba? So tapos yung thickness naman ito, diba? So is delta y lang. So kaya habang pinapanipis natin yan, that will approach dy. So kaya pag horizontal strip naman, so dA will be given by, so x sa right boundary minus x sa left boundary. So then area will be given by, okay. So area will be given by, so this is integral from A to B. So this is ng x sa right boundary minus x sa left boundary multiplied by dy. So again, so yan yung magiging equation natin. Diba? Sorry. This will be from C to D naman. No? So kasi makikita natin so pag ganito naman yung mga rectangles natin dito. Diba? So pataas. Okay? So kaya from C to D. Okay? Nakuha ba? So again, so yun yung area bounded by rectangular curve. No? So again, maganda dito, i-drawing nyo muna yung figure. So para makita nyo yung mga boundaries natin. So tapos para magkaroon kayo ng idea, diba? So kung paano nyo i-solve yung problem. Okay? So let's try an example. So what is the area bounded by the parabola x squared is equal to 8y? So and its latus rectum. No? So again, so yun yung tanong sa problem natin. Okay? So let's try to graph. Diba? So first, okay? So you can imagine yung parabola kasi ganito yung shape niya. Diba? Tapos yung latus rectum, diba? So is a line segment connecting 2 points on the parabola, so na dumadaan sa focus ng parabola natin and perpendicular sa axis, diba? Yung axis ng parabola is yung line, diba? So which is dividing, so dinidivide nyo, hinahati nyo yung parabola sa 2 equal parts. So like this one, so dumadaan niya sa vertex ng parabola. Then the focus of the parabola is somewhere dun sa axis ng parabola natin. No? So then, okay, so if we draw this line, so passing through the focus, perpendicular sa axis. So yun yung tinatawag nating latus rectum. Kaya ganito yung magiging shape, diba? So na kukunan natin ang area. No? So for this problem. Okay? Okay? So kaya first, let's try to draw, diba? So yung parabola natin. Okay? So we are given this one. So x squared is equal to 8y. So let's change this, diba? So to its standard form. So ang standard form nito will be x squared is equal to, so this is 4 times 2. So lagi kayo mag-factor out ng 4 dito. Diba? Especially pag nag-involve ng latus rectum sa focal point. So our focus, diba, sa of the parabola. So then this is multiplied by y. Okay? Okay ba? So again, so pag ganito yung format natin, diba? So as you can see, kung i-compare natin to sa mga standard forms ng parabola natin, so this is kamukha to ng x squared is equal to 4ay. Okay? Nakuha ba? So pag x squared is equal to 4ay, pag ganito yung format natin, so unang-una, so yung vertex natin dito is at the origin. Okay? So isa sa mga important points ng parabola yung vertex, diba? So kasi dyan natin malalaman kung saan nag-change ng direction yung parabola. Okay? So pangalawa, diba? Since ang naka-square dito ay x, diba? So ibig sabihin, this is either opening upward or downward. So and since positive positive yung naka-multiply kay y, so ibig sabihin, this is opening upward. Diba? So this opens upward. Okay, pag negative naman to, let's say may negative yan dyan, that opens downward. No? Pag y naman yung naka-square, that's either opening to the right or to the left. Positive pag to the right, negative pag to the left. So kaya dito meron na tayong idea dun sa orientation ng parabola natin. So kailangan na lang natin kumuha ng points para alam natin kung saan dumadaan yung parabola. And for that, diba, it's better to use the points of intersection. Diba? So ano ba yung points of intersection natin? So again, that will be, diba? So that should satisfy this equation kasi dapat nandun siya sa parabola. And also, it should satisfy the equation for the latus rectum. So nasaan ba yung latus rectum natin? So if you know properties of parabola, diba? Kung alam niyo yung property ng parabola natin, kung ito yung vertex, ito yung focus. Yung layo ng focus natin from the vertex is A. So then yung layo mula dito sa latus rectum hanggang sa focus is 2A. So then this is also 2A. Okay? Okay ba? So lagi nyo itong tatandaan pagdating sa parabola. Okay? Okay ba? So kaya makikita natin na yung focus natin, so since this is opening upward, so yung focus natin nasa taas ng vertex. Diba? Kaya kung vertex natin is at 0, 0, so ano ba yung A natin? So A is this one. Diba? So 2. So ibig sabihin this is 2 units. Okay? So this is 2 units. Diba? So ibig sabihin yung focus natin so is located. Diba? So at, okay? So nasa taas siya. So y coordinate lang yung magbabago. Pero yung x coordinate natin stays the same. So therefore this is still at 0. So then 2 units. Diba? So nandiyan yung focal point natin. So 0, 2. Diba? So therefore, yung latus rectum natin is a horizontal line. Pag horizontal line, ang equation natin is y is equal to some constant b. Diba? So therefore, so yung b na gagamitin natin dito is itong y coordinate ng focus. So 2. So therefore, ito yung ating equation, diba? So for the latus rectum. Okay? Okay ba? So gamitin na lang natin yung knowledge natin sa parabola so para mag-graph natin. So kasi once alam na natin yung vertex, alam natin na opens upward, tapos alam natin tong number na to, tong value na to. So we can easily graph, diba? So yung parabola natin. So diretso na tayo sa graphing. Okay? So opening upward, so with vertex at the origin. Okay? Okay, so let's say this is our x-axis, y-axis, then origin. No? So again, so first, diba? So we have vertex at the origin. So ito yung vertex V natin. Okay, nakuha ba? So this is at the origin 0, 0. Okay. Pangalawa, so again, ito yung A natin. So again, yung A natin represents the distance between the focus and the vertex. This opens upward. So kaya alam natin focus is above the vertex. Diba? So bibilang tayo ng 2 units dito. Okay, so we have 2 units. So then dito yung focus natin. Diba? So again, along the axis. Diba? Since this is opening upward, alam natin vertical yung axis nun. So again, so this will be given by 0, 2. Diba? So kaya na-explain ko sa inyo kanina. Diba? So then, so again, yung sa focus natin, so remember yung sa figure na binigay ko sa inyo kanina. So again, if this is the focus, this is the vertex. So again, if this is equal to A, this is 2A and this is 2A. Diba? Since this is 2 units, so ibig sabihin 4 units sa kanan, saka 4 units sa kaliwa yung endpoints ng latus rectum natin. Diba? So therefore, we count 4 units here. Okay, so kaya nandito yung isang endpoint ng latus rectum. Tawagin natin as R. No? So then, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So nandito yung other point of the latus rectum. So ito yung L. So ibig sabihin, diba? So ito yung latus rectum natin. Diba? And as you can see again, so this is a horizontal line. Okay? So we have a horizontal line. So passing through, y is equal to 2. Diba? So yung latus rectum natin, so can be treated as, so y is equal to 2. So again, basta horizontal line yung equation natin dyan, y is equal to 2, diba? So or y is equal to a constant. No, sorry, not y is equal to 2. Y is equal to a constant. Diba? So basta horizontal line. Pag vertical line naman, x is equal to a constant. No? So therefore, so again, these two endpoints are on the parabola. So ibig sabihin, ito yung parabola na hinahanap natin. So again, sa vertex, dapat mag-change siya ng direction. Diba? So kasi kanina pababa, so ito pababa. Diba? So then pagdating dito, pataas naman siya. Okay? Nakabasa again. So ito yung area so na gusto natin i-solve. No? So again, so itong parabola na to is given by this equation. So i-rewrite na lang natin as y is equal to, so we have x squared over 8. Okay? So again, so that's our problem. Okay? So any questions sa figure natin? Kaya makikita natin, so this is the upper boundary. So upper boundary to, diba? So then this is our lower boundary. Okay? Okay ba? So let's consider vertical strips muna, no? So again, so using vertical strips, so let's draw a rectangle here. So again, so let's consider this rectangle. So again, as you can see, so yung thickness niya is along the x-axis, so therefore that will be dx. So siya approach niya yung 0. So then as for the length, diba? So again, this is just y upper minus y lower. So again, ito yung upper, ito yung lower. Diba? So therefore, okay, so let's solve for the differential area of this rectangle. So again, that is equivalent to y upper minus y lower. So this is dx. Okay? Ang y upper natin is equal to 2. Ang y lower natin is equal to x squared over 8. So this is x squared over 8. So this quantity, dx. Diba? So then solving for the area, so kailangan lang natin itong i-integrate. Diba? So you have 2 minus x squared over 8 dx. Okay? So again, ito yung boundary natin. So from here, this is negative 4 kasi 4 units sa kaliwa. Tapos ito naman ay positive 4. So kasi 4 units sa kanan. Diba? So therefore, this will be from negative 4 to 4. So pero kung alam niyo yung properties ng parabola, diba? So alam natin na yung parabola is symmetric with respect to its axis. So again, remember, ito yung axis natin. So kaya ibig sabihin itong axis na to, hinahati niyo yung parabola into 2 equal parts. Kaya ibig sabihin, pwede nga i-consider lang natin is yung right hand side or yung left hand side lang. Pwedeng kalahati lang, so then multiply natin ng 2. So therefore, another way here, pwede ko siyang gawing 2. So tapos yung integral natin, diba? So we'll just arrange, diba? Mula sa 0, mula sa x is 0, so hanggang x is 4. So pareho lang yung kalalabasan nito. Okay? Okay? So again, so pag na-set up nyo na yung equation na yan, you can just use your calculator. Okay? So pero pag nagre-review kayo, so try nyo mag-solve by hand. Diba? So again, so para masanay din kayo sa calculation. Okay? So kumbaga practice lang. Diba? Okay? So kasi pag binabasa nyo lang tapos hindi nyo pinapractice, diba? So then, pagdating sa actual, mahihirapan din kayo. So kaya dapat pinapractice nyo talaga. No? Okay? So this is 32 over 3. So we have letter B. Okay? So again, another way, diba? So is by using horizontal strips. No? Okay? So horizontal strips naman, okay? So again, so kahit dito na lang tayo sa kalahati mag-focus. Okay, nakuha ba? So kasi makikita nyo naman, so na pag dinrawing natin yung nasa other half nito, diba? So pareho lang yung makukuha nating rectangle sa half na to. So pwede i-consider lang natin yung kalahati, so then multiply lang natin sa 2 sa afterwards. Diba? So yung buong area natin. Okay? So again, so this will just be dy in this case. Diba? Ito naman yung limits of integration natin. So from the vertex, that is 0, hanggang sa focus 2. Diba? So then yung magiging boundaries naman natin dito, una is the y-axis. Y-axis is a vertical line passing through x is equal to 0. Kaya x is equal to 0 hanggang dun sa parabola natin. Diba? And again, from this parabola, solving for x, so you will get square root of 8y. Diba? So kaya pwede rin natin gawin dito. Diba? So as we get the differential area. So again, ito yung para sa vertical strips. So again, ito naman yung sa horizontal strip. Okay? So this is equal to, so again, so x sa kanan minus x sa kaliwa. Diba? So then this is dx. So yung x sa kanan, diba? So is given by square root of 8y. So yung x sa kaliwa naman is given by 0. So this is just 0. Okay? So then this should be dy. Okay? So this is dy. Diba? So again, so this is dA. So then solving for the area, so then area will be, so this is from 0 to 2. So this is 0 to 2. Diba? So then square root of 8y. Okay. So this is from 0 to 2. So then square root of 8y dy. No? Okay, so again, so pero kalahati lang yan. So kaya kailangan din natin itong i-multiply sa 2. Okay? Okay ba? So pag ang ginawa nyo dito is binuo nyo itong rectangular strip na to. Diba? So then ito yung magiging boundary natin sa left. No? So yung boundary natin sa left is also the parabola. So remember na pag kinuha mo yung square root nito, plus or minus dapat yung lalabas yan. Yung nasa kanan is the positive, yung nasa kaliwa yung negative. Okay? Nakuha ba? So kaya ibig sabihin ganun din yung kalalabasan. No? So kasi pag binuo natin to, you will get positive square root of 8y sa kanan negative square root of 8y sa kabila. So kaya pag in-apply natin yung equation, so magiging siyang ganito. Diba? Okay, so you will get 2 square root of 8y. So pag finactor out mo yung 2, ganito rin yung kalalabasan. Diba? So kaya, okay, so kaya pwedeng kalahati na lang consider nyo, then multiply nyo lang ng 2. No? So if we try to solve for this area, so we have 2 integral, so ng square root of 8y. So palitan nyo lang yung y ng x kasi x lang yung nasa calculator. Okay? So this will be given by, so medyo mabagal. So this is square root of 8y. So again, gawin lang natin tong x, diba? So kasi yan lang yung available sa calculator. So this from 0 to 2, so naka-multiply sa 2. Okay. So medyo matagal lang siya kasi merong square root. So I think mas mabilis to. May lumabas sa calculator. Okay, so 10.6667. No? So 10.6667 is 32 over 3 as well. No? Okay. So we have 32 divided by 3. So we have 10.66667. No? So kaya 33 over 3 yung sagot natin sa problem na. Sorry, 32 over 3. Okay, so pareho lang ilalabas. So gamitin nyo lang kung ano yung mas convenient sa inyo. So para sa akin na mas convenient dito, vertical strip, diba? Kasi walang square root. So napansin nyo dun sa pag-integrate natin sa calcu, mas mabilis na palabas to compare dito, diba? So kasi dito merong square root, no? So isa yan sa mga iniiwasan natin pagdating sa board exam, no? So square root, okay? So mga radicals, diba? So yan kasi yung nagpapakomplikado minsan sa equations natin, okay? So kaya ako pag meron akong option so na isang solution na walang radical so versus isang solution na may radical, diba? So then mas pinipili ko yung walang radical. So even though minsan mas mahaba yung pagsisimplify niya, diba? Okay? Okay, so any questions? Diba? Okay. So syempre we have another way to solve this problem and that is by using direct formulas. Right? Okay ba? Okay? So, paano natin ito i-solve using direct formula? Okay? So, again, so if you are familiar with the parabolic segment, diba? So, ganito yung parabolic segment natin. Okay? So, again, so by definition, so again, so ito yung parabola natin. This is a parabola. Okay? So, and ito yung base ng parabola natin. So, this is the vertex of the parabola. So, this is the axis of the parabola. No? Pag may given sa atin na parabolic segment, so this is the height of the parabola. This is the base of the parabola. So tatandaan nyo yung direct formula na to. So the area, diba, is given by 2/3 base times height. No? So again, direct formula to for a parabolic segment. Okay? Nakabar? So yan. Diba? So actually madali lang yung matandaan. Diba? So ibase nyo lang sa triangle. Diba? So pag given kayo ng triangle, for example, so this is height h with a base b. So ano yung area ng triangle? Area is 1/2 base times height. Diba? Okay, so then kung i-compare nyo to, so itong 1, dagdagan nyo lang ng 1. Itong 2, dagdagan nyo lang ng 1, makukuha nyo to. Diba? Okay? So we have 2/3 base times height. So kasi actually meron yung direct formula, diba? So depende dun sa curve, diba? So na kino-consider natin. Dito kasi parabola to, diba? So dito naman, this is a linear equation, diba? So linear is degree 1 polynomial, diba? Parabola is a degree 2 polynomial, diba? So makikita natin yung equation natin dito. Ito yung degree natin. So let's say n yung degree. So then yung nasa denominator is mas malaki lang ng isa. So n over n plus 1 base times height. So ito actually yung equation natin for area of any polynomial segment. Diba? Kaya pag cubic function, so let's say this is a cubic function. So instead of a parabola, diba? So kumbaga third degree polynomial yung naka-enclose sa kanya. So then magiging siyang 3/4 base times height. No? Pag naman siya ay 4th degree polynomial, magiging siyang 4/5 base times height. Diba? So kaya again, so madali din matandaan yung 2/3 base times height. No? Isa yun sa mga memoryahin nyo kasi madalas yung lumabas sa board exam. Parabola, area ng parabola, madalas nyo yung magagamit pagdating sa board exam. No? So kaya I suggest memorize nyo yung 2/3 base times height. Madali lang naman tandaan. Diba? So again, so if we know that direct formula, so using the direct formula natin, okay? So we know the area, so to be equal to 2/3 base times height. So ano yung base ng parabola natin dito? Ito yung base natin, yung length ng latus rectum. Diba? So that will be from 4 to -4. So 4 minus -4 is 8. So therefore, that's 8 units. Diba? So and for the height, ito yung height niya. Diba? So that is from 0 hanggang 2. That is 2 units. Diba? So kaya lalabas dito is 32 over 3 as well. Diba? So sobrang ikli lang ng solution. Okay? So any questions para dito? Okay. So let's try another example. Diba? So we have, find the position value of C such that the area of the region bounded by the parabola y is equal to x squared minus c and y is equal to c squared minus x squared is equal to 576. No? Okay? So dito kayo na yung bahala kung gusto nyo gumamit ng integration. Diba? So pero itatry natin itong isolve using just the direct formula. Diba? So kasi simple lang naman yung equation. Diba? Or simple lang yung magiging solution natin dito. So first, let's try to graph. No? So again, so ang way natin sa pag-graph is kukunin muna natin yung standard form, so ng parabola natin. Sa standard form, naka-isolate lang yung naka-square na variable. So kaya dito yung naka-square na variable is x, diba? So we have x squared, so is equal to, so this will be y. So then that is plus c squared. Okay, so this is our standard form. So makikita natin yung pinakamalapit sa kanyang format, diba? So is in the form x minus h squared. So kasi meron ka ng plus c squared dito. So kaya hindi na natin pwedeng gamitin yung ginamit natin kanina na x squared is equal to 4ay lang. Diba? So this is 4a. So yun yung constant na nakamultiply sa y. So then this is multiplied by y minus k. Diba? So in this instance, diba? So pwede mong isipin kasi dito na may nakamultiply ka na 1 dito. Yung 1 na yan yung 4a. Diba? So basically standard form na to. Okay? Nakaba? So again, so pag ganito yung format natin, so yung vertex natin dito is nasa HK. So wala siya sa origin. Diba? So kaya ibig sabihin dito, diba? So yung vertex natin, so will be located at 0. So tapos we have negative c squared. Okay? Nakaba? So again, so then also, so again, x yung naka-square. So then positive yung naka-multiply kay y. So ibig sabihin, this is opening upward. No? So again, so this opens upward. Okay? Okay ba? Pangalawa, na kailangan nating ma-solve dito is, okay? So we have yung y is equal to c squared minus x squared. So ito yung pangalawang parabola na given. So again, rearranging this, so you will get x squared will be equal to negative. So ng y minus c squared. No? So kasi pag nilipat ko tong y dito sa kabila, magiging negative y. Yung positive c squared, pag finactor out mo yung negative 1, magiging negative c squared. No? So again, yung format naman ng equation natin, so sa standard forms ng parabola is of the form x minus h squared. So this is equal to negative, kasi negative yan. So this is 4a times y minus k. So again, so in this case, so the vertex is located at hk pa rin. And since negative yan, tapos x yung naka-square, this opens downward. Okay? Okay ba? So which means, what will be the vertex here? Vertex is at 0, positive c squared naman. Okay? Okay ba? And pangatlo, di ba, na kailangan natin i-solve are the points of intersection. So para ma-drawing natin na maayos yung parabola natin. So ang gagawin lang natin, equate lang natin yung dalawang y na to. Di ba? So if we equate them, so you will get that x squared minus c squared is equal to c squared minus x squared. No? So if we try to solve this, so you will get 2x squared is equal to 2c squared. So yung x natin is equal to positive or negative c. Diba? So for x is equal to positive c, so ano ilalabas na value ng y? So we can just use this equation. So y is equal to 0. Diba? So kasi x, c, so c squared minus c squared is 0. Diba? So pag ang ginamit naman natin is x is equal to negative c, so ganun din yung lalabas na y. Y is 0. So therefore, this is at c0. So then this one is at negative c0. Okay? Okay ba? So which means, pag ginraph natin to, okay? So x-axis, y-axis, origin. Diba? So plot natin yung mga points. Okay? So first, we have 0, negative c squared. So 0, negative c squared. So let's say this is negative c squared. So ito yan. Diba? So then yung 0, positive c squared naman is nasa kabilang side. Since pareho silang c squared pero ito positive, so therefore dapat magkasing layo lang sila sa origin. So this is positive c squared. So ito naman yung vertex ng pangalawang curve. No? Okay, so then so for the points of intersection, we have c0. So let's say ito yung c0. So then ito naman yung negative C0. Diba? So this is negative C. Okay? So therefore, ito yung unang parabola natin. So again, dumadaan sa point of intersection. And ito yung vertex. Okay? So then, so para naman sa second curve natin, so we have this parabola here. Okay? Nakuha ba? So kaya makikita natin, so pag hinati ko siya dito, so we will form a parabolic segment here. Then we form another parabolic segment here. Diba? So and for both this parabolic segment, diba, makikita natin na yung height nila is pareho lang na c squared. Diba? So this is also c squared. Okay? So tapos yung base naman nila, diba? So yung length naman na to. Okay? So this is the base. So we have c minus negative c, that is simply 2c. Diba? So therefore, so what's the total area bounded? So total area bounded is equal to dun sa area dun sa taas, diba? So area, so above, plus yung area sa baba, diba? So plus area below. Diba? So then this will be given by 2/3. So ano yung base nung nasa taas? 2c. So ano yung height nung nasa taas? C squared. Plus 2/3. So dun sa nasa baba naman, ang base ay 2c. Ang height naman niya ay c squared. No? So again, the total area is 576. Diba? So simplifying, so this is 2/3 times 2 is 4/3 plus 4/3, that's 8/3. So then c cubed. Diba? So then solving for c, so this will just be 576 times 3 divided by 8, so then cube root. No? So you will get c is equal to 6. Diba? So again, direct formula lang yung ginamit natin. Okay? So pwede nyo rin gamitan to, kaya sinabi ko kanina, pwede nyo rin gamitan ng integration, di ba? So yung area kasi natin dito will just be the integral. So from negative c to positive c, okay? So ano yung upper boundary natin? So yung nasa taas. Ito yung nasa taas, no? Okay? So we have c squared minus x squared. Okay? So minus yung nasa baba. Ito naman yung nasa baba. So that is x squared minus c squared. Okay? So then this quantity dx. Diba? So pero meron kayo ditong variable na c, diba? So kaya manual integration lang yung pwede nyo gamitin dyan. So tapos magiging in terms ng c yung area na to, ito rin yung masosolve nyo dyan. Diba? Equate nyo lang sa 576. No? Okay? Okay? So kaya kayo yung bahala kung gusto nyo gamitin ng integration. Diba? So pero yung mas madaling way dyan is pag alam nyo yung direct formula. No? Okay? So any questions for this part? Okay. Okay, so let's proceed to the next topic. No? Okay, so this time, so we have area bounded by a polar curve naman, diba? So again, sa polar curve, so means, so yung equation na given sa atin sa polar equation. So gaya ng sinabi ko sa inyo kanina, so back in differential calculus, diba? Differential calculus yan. Tama. Differential calculus, okay? So again, so yung polar equation natin so is defined by the r coordinate and the theta coordinate system, diba? So yung r natin is the distance from the origin. So yung theta naman natin is the angle with respect to that x-axis, no? Okay? So yung idea naman natin pagdating sa mga gantong uri ng problem so is, okay? So let's consider again so yung coordinate system natin, diba? So ito naman nakabase to sa isang parang imagine nyo parang circular, no? Okay, so let's say we are given so this figure, okay? Nakaba. So again, so ito yung ating points of intersection. So again, so yun yung magde-define sa atin so ng limits of integration natin, diba? So basically ito yung magiging let's say theta, ito yung magiging angle A natin. So tawagin ko to as A. So ito naman yung tawagin natin as B. So yun yung magiging limits of integration natin for theta. Diba? Tapos basically, so starting from the origin, diba? So imagine nyo lang na magdo-drawing kayo ng line dito palabas. Diba? So makikita natin na kahit saan natin siya padaanin dun sa figure, diba? So makikita natin na dumadaan muna siya dito sa curve na to bago siya dadaan sa curve na to. Diba? So therefore, so itong curve na to so will be our outside boundary. So rin ito naman yung magiging inside boundary natin. Okay? So basically, if we consider, for example, itong interval na to, so let's consider this interval, diba? So we have this one. So okay, so imagine nyo lang tong arc na to. Okay? So itong parang medyo mukhang rectangle din na arc, diba? So again, so if you consider this, diba? So yung angle natin dito will just be delta theta, diba? So as delta theta approaches 0, so this will approach d theta, diba? So tapos as for the radius naman natin, so again, so yung isang point sa curve natin, so again, so yung layo nito from the origin will just be defined as the r inside, diba? So ito yung ri natin. So let me use another color. Okay? So again, so let's consider this point on the curve, diba? So yung layo nito from the origin, so this length, diba? So this is our r sub I, diba? So yan yung r or radius ng inside curve, diba? So again, remember ito yung inside curve natin. Okay? So for the outside boundary naman, so again, so we can consider this point here. So ito naman yung radius ng outside boundary natin. So tawagin natin as RO. Diba? So and remember yung shape niya is parang circular arc, no? Or circular, ano tawag dito? Circular sector. Diba? So yung tatandaan natin pagdating sa circular sector, ang area nito is equal to 1/2 radius squared multiplied by the subtended angle theta. So ito yung theta, so yan yung arc. Okay? So basically, pag kinuha natin tong area na to, that is area of yung sector ng outside, outside curve natin minus yung sector ng inside curve natin. So therefore, okay, yung magiging equation natin dito is the differential area for the sector, so will be given by 1/2, diba? So then, so this is r outside squared minus r inside squared. So then this is multiplied by d theta. Okay? So then solving for the area, so integrate lang natin to. So this is 1/2 integral. So then this is r outside squared minus r inside squared d theta. So limits of integration from theta is equal to a to theta is equal to b. So this from a to b. Okay? So again, so this is our area, this is our area bounded by a polar curve. Kasi nga sa polar curve, r and theta yung given. Diba? So kaya mas magandang gamitin yung ganitong form ng area. So pero syempre another option nyo is you can convert, diba? So from polar curve to rectangular curve. So pero para sa karamihan kasi ng polar curve natin, mahirap silang i-convert sa rectangular curve. Or kung mako-convert man natin siya sa rectangular curve, diba? So mahihirapan din tayo mag-solve ng area. So using yung rectangular strips natin. So yung vertical saka horizontal strip. No? Especially kung medyo unfamiliar yung area na lalabas. No? Okay? So let's try to solve that. Example. So problem number 5. Okay? So find the area enclosed by the lemnis skate of a Bernoulli. Diba? So r squared is equal to a squared cosine 2 theta. So if you are familiar with the lemnis skate of Bernoulli, ganito yung shape niya. Okay? So this is the lemnis skate. Okay? Nakuha ba? So infinity sign. Okay? Yan yung tinatawag natin as the lemnis skate of Bernoulli. Okay? Kung alam niyo yung direct formula, diba? So pag ganito, so r squared is equal to a squared cosine 2 theta or r squared is equal to a squared sine 2 theta. So ganitong dalawang to, ang direct formula dyan for the area bounded by the lemnis skate of Bernoulli is just equal to a squared. So yung naka-multiply lang dun sa sign natin. Okay? So by the way, itong lemnis skate, tinatawag din natin to sa two-leaf rows. Diba? So kasi yung mga rows natin sa polar curves, diba? So ganito yung shape ng mga rows natin. Okay? Okay ba? So this is a 5-leaf rows. Diba? Okay? So kaya yung lemnis skate of Bernoulli, pwede mo i-consider as a two-leaf rows. Okay? Okay ba? So kaya yung format ng equation natin sa kanya kamukha din sa rows. Okay? So again, so ito yung direct formula natin sa pag-lemnis skate. So kaya alam natin kaagad yung sagot dito, letter C. No? So pero kung hindi nyo alam yan, diba? So then, so we can use integration to solve the problem. Okay? So let me try to graph first, diba? So yung problem natin. Okay? Pag mag-graph kayo ng polar curve, diba? So yung isang pinakamabilis na way, diba? Or pinakamadaling way, so is by using points, diba? So kukuha lang tayo ng points so dun sa curve natin. So tapos i-graph lang natin siya sa polar coordinate system. So tapos ifa-follow lang natin yung mga points na yun, diba? So pero kung gusto niyo ng mas accurate, diba? So nag-graph so ng polar curve, kaya so pwede kayong gumamit ng mga properties, diba? So pwede kayong gumamit ng differential calculus to get the slopes. So pwede kayong gumamit ng limits, 'di ba? So kung ano yung ina-approach, 'di ba? So nung curve natin at some specific points. Okay, nakaba? So you can just analyze, diba? So by using yung makukuha natin ng mga points, diba? Okay? So let's try this one, diba? Okay. So we have r squared, so is equal to a squared cosine of 2 theta. Okay, so then, so you will get that r is simply equal to a, so times square root of cosine of 2 theta. Diba? So akin sa inyo equation. Remember that this is positive or negative. Diba? So pero dahil doon sa symmetry ng lemniscate, so actually hindi na siya nagmamatter. Okay, nakaba. So ang kunin na lang natin is yung positive r. Okay, nakaba. So makukuha na rin natin yung negative counterpart nito kasi gagamit tayo ng symmetry. Diba? So dun sa problem. Okay, nakaba. So then, so ibig sabihin ito lang yung kailangan nating evaluate. So for some values of theta. So ang gamitin ko lang values of theta dito is from 0 to 90 degrees. Diba? So theta. So then, ito yung value ng R. Diba? So let's use radians. Kasi naka-radians yung calculator ko dito sa computer. So we have 0. Diba? So then, let's try pi over 3. O pi over 6. Oh, sige, pi over 4 na lang. So I think ito lang yung kailangan natin. Ay, sige, pi over 6 na lang. Para mas makita natin yung itsura. Ay, hindi. Wala tong value sa pi over 4. So let's use pi over 8. No, so again, pi over 8. So then pi over 4. So then 3 pi over 8, diba? So then pi over 2. So again, so hanggang 90 degrees lang. Diba? So then, so let's use the calculator. Okay? So ang gagamitin ko dito is the table mode. Diba? So kasi marami tayong isosolve. Diba? Kaya mas madali ito pag ginamitan natin ng table mode. Since hindi natin may papasok tong constant na to dito, diba? So then we can just factor that out. Then evaluate lang natin tong square root na to. So therefore, let's use square root of cosine ng 2x. Diba? Okay? So again, naka-radians naman to. So kaya wala tayong problem doon. So just press equals. Okay? So sa calculator natin sa 570 plus wala yung g of x. No? So kaya lagi ko lang siya nilalaktawan dito sa calculator na to. So f of x lang yung meron. Yung start natin ay 0. So we enter 0. Yung end natin ay pi over 2. So we have pi over 2. So tapos, ang step natin, as you can see dito, nag-a-add lang tayo na nag-a-add ng pi over 8. Diba? So therefore, so we have pi over 8. Okay? So then, so ito yung mga values natin. So isulat lang natin dito. So yung r natin, so again, if x is 0, so yung r natin is 1. So ayon sa calculator, times a, so this is a. Diba? Okay? So then, so pag pi over 8, that's 0.841. So times a, so this is 0.841a. Okay? Pag pi over 4, 0 times a, that's still 0. So pag naman siya ay, okay, so ito yung 3 pi over 8, so error. So ito yung wala siyang value dito. And pag pi over 2, that's also error. Diba? So wala din siyang value dito. Okay? So ibig sabihin hanggang pi over 4 lang yung value natin. Diba? So which makes sense naman kasi pag lumampas ka ng pi over 4, what will happen here? Diba? So if yung theta natin is greater than pi over 4, so yung 2 theta mo will be greater than pi over 2. Pag lumampas ka ng pi over 2, yung cosine of 2 theta mo, so will be less than 0. Diba? So kasi ganito yung graph ng cosine. Diba? So ito yung pi over 2. Okay? So kaya pag lumampas ka sa pi over 2, magne-negative yung cosine mo. And pag nag-negative yung cosine mo, pag kinuha mo yung square root, diba? So you will get an undefined number. Imaginary yung number. Diba? So kaya wala siyang solution, diba, sa pagdating sa values at greater than pi over 4. Okay? So kaya pag lumampas ka sa pi over 4, so hanggang pi over 2 na yan, so rin walang value yung lemniscate natin. So kaya hanggang dito lang. Okay? So yung values natin. Okay? So now, so let's do some test of symmetry, diba? So yung tatandaan natin pagdating sa polar curve, diba? So consider this point here. So pag ikaw ay symmetric with respect to the x-axis, diba? So ibig sabihin, so we will get this point. So again, pag sinabi natin symmetric, so parang mini-mirror lang natin yung point with respect sa x-axis. Kaya kung ano yung distance na to, siya rin yung distance na to. So if this is y, this is also y. No? So if this is r, this is also r. If this is theta, this is also theta. No? So again, so mirroring. Diba? So yun ang nangyayari sa symmetry natin. So yung makikita natin in terms of the polar curve, so hindi magbabago yung radius coordinate niya. Pero yung theta niya, so will change direction. Diba? From counterclockwise to clockwise, kaya yung positive theta, magiging negative theta. Diba? So which means, pag pinalitan ko yung theta ng negative theta, and hindi nagbago yung r, so ang ibig sabihin niyan, diba? So is symmetric siya with respect to the x-axis, no? So kaya dito pag sinolve natin, so theta is equal to negative theta. So then you will get r squared is equal to a squared cosine of 2 times negative theta. So again, if you know properties of cosine theta, cosine of negative theta is just equal to cosine of theta. Diba? So that's why this will become a squared cosine 2 theta. Diba? So meaning, so hindi nagbago yung equation natin. Diba? The same equation lang yan. Kahit palitan mo yung theta ng negative theta. So this means so that this is symmetric, diba? So with respect to x-axis. Okay? Okay ba? Pag naman ni-reflect natin siya with respect sa y-axis, no? So again, like this one. So therefore, so if this is x, this is also x, no? Again, if this is theta, so then this is also theta. Okay? Okay ba? So therefore, yung angle naman natin dito so will be 180 minus theta. So pero yung radius niya, 'di ba? The radius coordinate stays the same. So r pa rin 'to, 'di ba? So kasi symmetric with respect sa y-axis. So if we replace theta so by 180 minus theta, so then okay, so tapos pareho lang yung lalabas na equation, symmetric din siya with respect sa y-axis. No? So kaya if we try, so theta is equal to 180 minus theta. So substitute, okay, so this will be a squared, so then cosine of 2 times 180 minus theta. Okay, so this will be a squared cosine of 360 minus 2 theta. So pag ginamitan natin yun ng difference identity, diba? So cos cosine sin, so cosine 360, cosine 2 theta, so then plus sine 360, sine 2 theta. Diba? So then, so ano yung sine 360? Sine 360 is 0. So ano yung cosine 360? 1. So therefore, babalik lang siya sa a squared cosine 2 theta. Diba? So as you can see, diba? Okay, so walang pinagbago sa original equation. So therefore, this is also symmetric, diba? So with respect sa y-axis. So yun yung reason kaya hanggang 90 degrees lang kinuha ko. Ito kasi quadrant 1 to. So these are all in quadrant 1. So kaya pag nakuha na natin yung sa quadrant 1, since symmetric siya with respect to the x-axis and symmetric siya with respect sa y-axis, so i-reflect lang natin siya. I-mirror lang natin yung curve natin, diba? So with respect sa x and y-axis, no? Okay? So try natin siya i-graph. Okay. So actually makakatulong din sa atin yan pagdating sa integration. Kasi kung symmetric siya with respect to the x and the y-axis, pwede nating hatiin yung curve sa 4 parts. Solve lang natin yung area ng 1 part, so then multiply lang natin ng 4. Diba? So ay magiging mas maikli yung ating limits of integration. No? Okay. So now, diba? So let's try to graph. Okay, nakabasa yung polar curve natin. So again, so ano yung mga points natin? So nag-given dito. Okay, so we have 0A. So let's consider this as A. So ito yung isang point natin. Okay, so hindi pa. Theta is equal to 0, so r is equal to a, so tama lang. So ito kasi yung theta is equal to 0, diba? So yun yung x-axis. Okay, so this is theta is equal to 0. Okay, tapos yung radius niya is yung distance from the origin. So kaya tama lang na 8, diba? Okay, so theta is pi over 8. So ito yung pi over 4. So yung kalahati niya is pi over 8. So ito yung theta is pi over 8. So again, at pi over 8 naman, so we have 0.841a. So mas maliit siya sa a. Diba? So ito yung circle, so with radius a. Diba? Okay? Okay? So then, okay, so ibig sabihin, so mas maikli siya sa a. Diba? So kaya around here yung, let's say, 0.841a. Okay? So at pi over 4, so again, ito yung pi over 4. So yung radius natin ay 0. So ito yung radius is 0. Diba? Then after nyan, wala na siyang value. So ibig sabihin, ito lang yung makikita natin sa first quadrant. Okay? So you will get, so this curve. Okay? Nakuha ba? So tapos, since symmetric siya with respect sa x-axis, diba? So ibig sabihin, pwede natin itong kopyahin dun sa kabila ng x-axis natin. So pag kinopya lang natin yan or ni-reflect lang natin, diba? So you will form something like this. No? Okay, so tapos symmetric din siya with respect to the y-axis. So kaya pwede rin natin kopyahin dun sa y-axis natin. So you will form that infinity sign. Diba? So gaya na sabi ko kanina, due to symmetry, Pag hinati natin to sa 4 na parts, so lahat ng area na to are just equal. Diba? So kasi nga symmetric sila with respect sa x and y axis. No? So kaya pwedeng i-consider lang natin dito itong isa. So let's consider this one. Okay, nakuha ba? Then isosolve natin yung area nito. So then multiply it by 4. Okay, nakuha ba? So again, pagdating sa mga polar curve, so start kayo sa origin. So then, drawing kayo ng line palabas. Diba? So let's say we have this line and this line. Okay, nakuha ba? So makikita natin, so dito sa figure na to, this is bounded outside by the lemniscate. Diba? So ito yung lemniscate natin. So this is the outside boundary. And yung inside boundary natin is itong nasa origin. So this is our inside boundary. Diba? So again, yung inside boundary natin is the radius, is the origin. So yung origin natin is at radius is equal to 0. So kaya r is equal to 0 yan. So yung outside naman natin, so is yung lemniscate. So yun yung r squared is equal to a squared cosine of 2 theta. Okay, okay? So therefore, okay, so solving for this bounded area. So again, tawagin natin yan as our differential area dA. So this is equivalent to, so 1/2. So again, this is r outside minus squared minus r inside squared multiplied by d theta. Diba? So then this will be 1/2. So again, ano yung outside boundary natin? That is this one. Diba? So ang naka-square na to, kaya kokopyahin lang natin to. So a squared, so this is cosine of 2 theta. So then, okay, so para sa r inside naman, r inside is 0. So kaya this will just cancel. So then this will be multiplied by d theta. So solving for the final area, so this will just be equal to 4 kasi 4 na parts to. Diba? Multiplied by, so 1/2. Okay, so times integral. So nito. So a squared is also constant. So i-factor out ko na rin siya. So this is a squared. So then this will be cosine of 2 theta d theta. Diba? So again, so ano yung boundaries natin of integration? So from theta is 0 hanggang pi over 4 lang. So kasi wala ka namang value dito. Diba? So kaya dito 0 to pi over 4 lang to. Okay? So again, so if you solve this integration sa calculator, make sure naka-Regents mode kayo. So para hindi kayo magkamali. Okay? Okay, so we have integral. So ng cosine of 2 theta. Diba? So this is from 0 to pi over 4. Okay. So tapos dito 4 divided by 2 is 2. So i-cancel ko na to. So then this is equal to 2a squared. So then this is multiplied by, okay. So this is 1/2. No? Okay? Nakaba? So kaya magka-cancel to. So makikita natin na equal lang siya sa a squared. Diba? So therefore, we have letters. Okay? So again, so mas maganda pang i-drawing nyo muna yung problem. No? So kasi minsan na may nakikita tayo na parang ways para sa easier calculation. Diba? So in this case, so hinati natin siya sa 4 na parts. 4 na equal parts. We solve 1 part. We multiply it by 4. Diba? So we get the same solution. No? So any questions para dito? Okay. So again, so yun yung sa polar curve. No? So again, so tandaan nyo lang tong equation na to. Okay? So next. So okay na tayo dito. So we have the area bounded by a parametric curve naman tayo. No? Okay. So ano naman yung gagawin natin pag ang given sa atin is a parametric curve, no? Anong ibig sabihin ng parametric curve? So ibig sabihin niyan gumagamit tayo ng isang parameter para ma-measure natin yung value ng coordinates natin, di ba? So ang usual na gumagamit ito are the rectangular coordinates, di ba? Rectangular coordinates again are x and y. So yung x and y natin is a function of some parameter na ginagamit natin. So ang usual na ginagamit nating parameter is either t or theta, di ba? So kaya basically, so pagdating sa parametric curve, so we are given x is equal to f of t. So tapos we are also given y is equal to another function. So let's say g of t. Diba? So minsan, okay, so theta yung ginagamit nating parameter. Okay? So instead of t. Diba? So kaya wag kayo malilito dun sa theta. So yung problema kasi ng ibang estudyante, pag theta yung nakita nila, ang ina-assume kaagad nila polar curve. No? Pag yung kapartnered ng theta ay x, diba? So, or y, so again, parametric yan, diba? Pero pag ang kapartner ng theta is r, so then that's a polar curve. No? So again, so in this case, so we are considering a parametric curve. No? Okay, so again, so let's say we have this one. Okay? So ito madali lang to. So kasi imagine nyo lang dito is this will just be, okay? So we have, if we solve for dx here, okay? So dx will just be given by f prime of t, so by chain rule, multiplied by dt, diba? So so in terms of theta, so f prime of theta d theta lang. So gamit lang kayo ng chain rule para ma-solve nyo yung dx, okay? Basta pag dy naman yung kailangan nyo, so then dy is equal to, so this will be g prime, no? So this will be g prime of t, so then dt, so pwede rin siya maging g prime of theta, d theta. Okay? Ako ba? So ganyan lang yung mangyayari. So kasi kaya remember, 'di ba? So pag gumamit tayo ng vertical strips, 'di ba? So remember yung equation natin sa vertical strip, 'di ba? So area, okay, so it's just equal to integral so ng f upper minus f lower, 'di ba? So then this is multiplied by dx, 'di ba? Okay? So kaya magiging lang tong equal sa, so ganun pa rin. So f upper minus f lower. So y pala yung ginamit ko kanina, no? So not f. So this is y upper, so minus y lower. So but again, y natin is a function of g. So kaya this will be g upper minus g lower. So multiplied by, so again, dx. Pero yung dx natin is equal to this one. So we multiply f prime of t dt. Diba? So tapos, kunin nyo lang yung a natin saka yung b in terms of t or theta. So nakadepende na yun sa curve natin. Diba? So again, so this is at t is equal to a1. Diba? So then this is at 2t is equal to b1. Okay? Nakaba? So again, so ganyan lang yung pagkuha ng area. Diba? So again, so instead of directly using y saka x, diba? So dumadaan tayo sa another variable t or another variable theta. So ganyan lang yung nangyayari sa parametric curve. No? So pag horizontal strip naman, so then area is equal to, so we have x to the right minus x to the left multiplied by dy. Diba? So then, so pag nilipat natin to sa parameters niya, so then this will be f of f right, so minus f left, no? So then this is multiplied by, okay, so this is g prime of t dt. Diba? So this is at t is equal to, so let's say c1, so hanggang t is equal to d1. So again, so ganyan naman yung ginagawa natin sa parametric curve. So again, parang nag-change variable lang tayo basically. Diba? So pero ganun pa rin. Parang nag-solve lang tayo ng rectangular curves. Diba? Okay? So let's try an example. Hypocycloid of 4 cusps. Diba? So yung hypocycloid of 4 cusps, ganito yung itsura niyan. Okay? So parang tala. Diba? Okay, so yun yung hypocycloid of 4 cusps na tinatawag. No? Okay, nakuha ba? So and pag in-analyze nyo to, so you will also get that this is, okay, so pwede nating hatiin sa 4 na parts. So then solve lang natin yung isang part, so then multiply it by 4. Diba? So but again, so try muna natin i-graph, diba? So yung problem natin. Okay? So pag mag-graph kayo dito, or pag kukuha kayo ng points, so mag-define lang kayo ng some values of theta. Diba? So again, yung gusto nating value dito is nasa first quadrant lang. So kaya sabihin yung x and y na makukuha natin dapat lagi positive, diba? And saan ba kayo magkakaroon ng sin theta is greater than 0 saka cosine theta is greater than 0? Kasi diyan nakadepende kung magpa-positive or negative yung x and y natin. So mangyayari to for theta is from, okay, so 0 degree hanggang 90 degree. So first quadrant din. So first quadrant angle, no? So kaya yun lang i-consider nating values of theta. Okay? So we have theta. Okay? So then, so there's the value of x. So we will just follow the equation. So value of y. So let's start theta at 0. So then let's try pi over 6. So then pi over 3. So then pi over 2. Okay? So tingnan natin kung ano yung makukuha nating values ni x and y. No? Okay? So I'm gonna use table mode again. No? So again, para dito. So table, diba? So then, so sulat natin to. So since hindi natin ma-evaluate si A, kasi constant yan, so itong cosine cube theta lang ilalagay natin. So we have cosine ni x, okay? So naka-radians naman to. So again, so this quantity raised to the third power. Okay? So then, so ang start natin ay 0. So ang end natin ay pi over 2. Okay? And as you can see, di ba? So yung step naman natin dito is pi over 6. Nag-add tayo ng pi over 6 every time. No? Okay? So therefore, so this will be pi over 6. Okay? So then, so this will be 0. This will be 1 times A, kasi may A pa tayo dito. So this will be A. Pag pi over 6 naman, so we have 0.65. So times A. So okay, this is 0.65A. Okay? So then pag pi over 3 naman, so we have 0.125. Okay? So 0.125 times A. So this is 0.125A. No? So then pag pi over 2, so then that is 0. So therefore, this will be 0. Okay? Sa y-coordinate naman natin, so instead na cosine, nagilang siyang sine. Diba? So then, so palitan lang natin to ng sine. Okay? So tapos ganun pa rin, start is 0. Ang end natin is pi over 2. So tapos ang step natin is pi over 6. Okay? So then we get this one. Okay? So pag theta is 0, so then y natin is 0. Pag theta is pi over 6, so this is 0.125. Pero may naka-multiply pa dyang a, so kaya times a. So then pag pi over 3, so that's 0.65. Sa akin may naka-multiply pa dyan na a. Diba? So and lastly, so pag theta is pi over 2, so then f natin is equal to 1. So kaya yung y natin, so naka-multiply pa ng a, so that will be equal to a. No? Okay? So any questions dito? Okay? So yun again, so test natin yung symmetry. Diba? So ano ba yung sa symmetry natin? So again, pag symmetric siya with respect to the x-axis, no? Okay, so ibig sabihin, so dapat, okay, so hindi magbabago yung x kasi ito lang yung x niya, diba? So hindi magbabago yung x pero yung y, so from positive magiging negative, diba? So therefore, if we replace y with negative y, so we should get positive x, diba? Okay? So then, pag naman siya ay symmetric with respect sa y-axis, diba? So ang ibig sabihin niyan is, okay, so same lang yung value ng y, so pero isang positive x, yung isa naman negative x. Diba? So kaya pag yung x, pinalitan ko ng negative x, dapat hindi magbabago yung y. Or hindi magbabago yung function natin. Diba? Okay? So let's try solving this one. Diba? Or let's try symmetry. Okay? So ang gagawin natin is una, papalitan ko muna yung y ng negative y. Okay? So pag ginawa natin yan, so we have negative y, so is equal to a, so then sine cubed of theta. So then we can write this is y is equal to a, so then this is negative sine theta raised to the third power. Diba? So kasi this will give us a negative sign, so then pwede siyang malipat dun sa y. Diba? So and meron tayong identity, diba? So na, okay? So we have sine of, okay? Ano ba yung magbibigay sa atin ng negative sine of theta? So I think the sine of negative theta. Diba? So again, so this will give us a negative sine theta. Diba? Okay, so therefore, so pwede natin itong gawin. So A, so times sine of negative theta. So then this will be raised to the third power. So as you can see dito, sa equation na to, yung theta, napalitan lang ng negative theta. No? Pag pinasok natin ngayon yan sa x, diba? So then you will get that. So theta, this will give us theta is equal to negative theta. So then substituting dun sa x, so again, this is equal to a cosine cube of negative theta. So then, so again, alam natin na yung cosine of negative theta is just equal to cosine of theta. Diba? So therefore, mawawala lang yung negative sign. So this is cosine cubed of theta. Diba? So which means, yung y, napalitan ng negative y, pero yung x, diba? So hindi nagbago ng equation. Okay? So therefore, so this is symmetric. Okay? So with respect to the x-axis. Okay? Okay? So pag symmetric naman siya sa y-axis, diba? So then, okay, so you will get x is equal to negative x. Diba? So then, so dito naman tayo magsasubstitute. Okay? So we have negative x will be equal to a. So this is cosine cube of theta. So our x will be equal to a. So then this will be cosine so of, okay, so theta. So again, so this is multiplied by, so again, this is negative cosine of theta. So this quantity raised to the third power. Okay, okay ba? So kaya, yun yung magiging equation natin. Diba? So kaya dito, diba? So again, so kailangan lang natin ito ibalik sa cosine. So ano ba yung magbibigay sa atin dyan ng identity? So we have cosine of 180 minus theta. So pag ginamitan nyo ito ng difference identity, cos cosine sin, cos 180 cos 1 theta plus sin 180 sin theta. But sin 180 ay 0, kaya matitira lang is cosine 180 cosine theta. Cosine 180 is negative 1. So kaya ibig sabihin this is negative cosine of theta. So again, isa yan sa mga trigonometric identities natin. So kaya pwede natin itong palitan ng, so a, so cosine cubed of 180 minus theta. So kaya pag pinalitan natin yung x ng negative x, yung theta, mapapalitan ng 180 minus theta. Diba? So then solving for y, so y will be equal to a, so then sine of 180 minus theta. So then this quantity raised to that third power. Diba? So sa sine naman, so pag ginamitan natin ito ng difference identity, so sin cos cosine, sine 180 cosine theta minus cosine 180 sin theta. But again, sine 180 is 0, kaya matitira lang is yung negative cosine 180 sin theta. Cosine 180 is negative 1, so times negative 1 is positive 1. So kaya magigitong positive sin theta. Diba? So that's why yung y natin will be a sine cubed of theta. So pinilitan natin yung x ng negative x, pero yung y walang nagbago. Diba? So ibig sabihin, so this is also symmetric with respect to y-axis. No? So ibig sabihin, kahit first quadrant lang yung alam natin, so pwede na natin gamitin yung symmetry para ma-drawing natin yung sa second quadrant saka yung sa third quadrant. Okay? So then, so let's try to graph this one. No? Okay, so again, so x-axis, so y-axis, so then this is the origin. Okay, so let's start so with this one. So theta is 0, diba? So x is a, y is 0. So ibig sabihin, so a units. So then 0 units yung y, so therefore ito yung point natin. Okay, so next is 0.65a, so 0.125a. So let's define this is our a. So ibig sabihin, so ito yung 0.125a, diba? So we have this one. Tapos yung 0.65a, so will be around here siguro. Okay? So therefore, so we have a point here. Okay? So tapos, next is 0.125a, so 0.65a. So let's say ito yung 0.125a. Okay? So then, so dito naman, so let's say yung 0.65a. Okay? So therefore, we have a point here. So then lastly, we have 0a. Diba? So x is 0, y is a. So we also have a point here. No? So pag dinrawing natin yung curve natin, diba? So you will get so something like this. Okay? Okay ba? So again, so ganyan yung curve niya. Diba? And si symmetric siya with respect to the x-axis, so pwede natin i-mirror so sa x-axis. No? Okay? So then, so since symmetric siya with respect sa y-axis, pwede natin siyang i-mirror sa y-axis. No? So therefore, so we can form so this curve here. Okay? Okay ba? So then, so again, so dahil sa symmetry niya, so pwede nating hatiin to sa 4 na parts. So and we can just solve, diba? So the area of one part. So for example, we can just solve this area, then multiply it by 4. Okay? Okay ba? So again, so yun yung advantage ng symmetry, diba? So pag marunong kayo mag-check ng symmetry ng graphs natin, no? Okay? So let's use vertical strip. So kayo na yung bahala kung gusto niyo gamitin yung horizontal strip. So pareho lang naman yung magiging solution. Okay? Nakuha ba? Or pareho lang yung magiging sagot. Okay? So kaya kahit anong gamitin nyo, pareho lang yung kalalabasan. No? So kaya as a practice nyo na lang, so try nyo rin gamitin yung horizontal strip. No? So again, so sa vertical strip, this will be dx. So kasi along the x-axis. So rin ito yung height niya. Diba? Makikita natin yung boundaries ng height natin is the function itself. Diba? So yung x-axis natin. And yung x-axis naman natin is y is equal to 0. That's the lower boundary. Yung upper boundary naman natin is given by, so y is equal to a sine cubed of theta. Okay? Okay? So let's try to solve this. So again, so from the given, so y is equal to a sine cube of theta. Okay? So then yung x naman natin so is given by a cosine cubed of theta. So if we try to solve for dx, kasi may dx tayo dito, so then this will be a, so multiplied by, so power rule, so 3 cosine squared of theta. So again, exponent na multiply, 3 minus 1 is 2, kaya cosine squared na lang. So by chain rule, multiplied by the derivative of cosine, that is negative sign. So this is negative sign of theta. Diba? So then simplifying this, so you will get this to be negative 3a. So this is cosine squared of theta, so then multiplied by sine of theta. Diba? So ano yung limits of integration natin? So from x is 0 hanggang x is equal to a. So ito yung magbibigay sa atin ng x ay 0. Ito yung magbibigay sa atin ng x and a. So therefore, ito yung limits of integration natin. From pi over 2 papunta sa 0. Okay? So therefore, so again, saan equal yung area natin? So area is equal to the integral. So limits of integration, so from pi over 2 to 0. Okay? So y upper minus y lower. So again, so this is multiplied by dx. Okay? So this will be integral. So from pi over 2 to 0. Again, ano yung y upper natin? So ito yung y upper. Diba? So a sine cubed of theta. Ano yung y lower natin? Y lower ay 0. So we can cancel that. So then ano yung dx natin? So dx is this one. Diba? So we have, okay? So nakalimutan ko yung d theta. Okay? So this is negative 3a. Okay? So cosine squared theta. So then we have sine theta d theta. Okay? So now let's simplify. Okay? So note, meron tayong property sa integral, diba? So na pag pinagbaliktad natin yung limits of integration, mamumultiply yung integral natin sa negative 1, diba? So therefore, so we can write this as negative integral. So pagpalitin natin to, so magiging siyang 0 to pi over 2, diba? So tapos we have a, saka negative 3a. So labas natin yan. So negative 1 times negative 3a squared, that's positive 3a squared. So therefore, so this will be positive. So we have positive 3a squared. So may nakalimutan pa pala ako dito. So again, so kailangan natin itong i-multiply ng 4 kasi 4 yan. So kalahati pa lang yung kino-consider natin. So kaya dapat may 4 dito, may 4 dito. Diba? So kaya 4 times 3 is 12. So kaya this will be positive 12a squared. Okay? So then, so we have integral, so from 0 to pi over 2. Okay, so then we have sine cubed times sine. So that's sine to the 4th theta. So then we have cosine squared. So cosine squared theta. So then d theta. Okay? Nakaba? So then, so as you can see, so dito applicable si Wallis rule, Wallis formula. Diba? So using Wallis formula here, so this will be 12a squared. So multiplied by m minus 1. M is 4. So that's 4 minus 1 is 3. Minus 1 is 1. So kaya stop na tayo dito. So then we have n is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So kaya enough na yan. So then divided by, so m plus n, 4 plus 2 is 6. Minus 2 ay 4. Minus 2 ay 2. So again, pag umabot ka na ng 2, so stop na dyan. Diba? So then this is multiplied by, so alpha. Again, anong alpha natin dito? These are both even number. So kaya alpha is pi over 2. So we have pi over 2 here. Okay? So then, so this will be given by, so 6 times 2 ay 12. So we can cancel this. So 3 times 1 times 1 is 3. So we have 3 times pi times a squared. So then sa denominator naman, 4 times 2 lang. So we have 8. So we have 3 pi over, 3 pi a squared over a, or 3/8 pi a squared. So we have letter B. Okay? Okay ba? So any questions para dito? Okay? Questions? No. Okay? So any questions so far? No? So again, so yun yung sa parametric curve natin, no? Okay? So again, pareho lang siya dun sa rectangular curve, diba? So pero instead na using y and x as the variable, gagamit tayo ng another variable. So yung parameter natin. So pag nakakita kayo ng t, diba? So or theta sa equation, tapos may x and y. So again, so yun most likely yun ay parametric curves, no? So kaya ganito lang yung gagawin yung solution. Okay? So tandaan niyo na lang tong mga given dito sa kayong sagot, no? So kasi pag lumabas to sa board exam, most likely ito pa rin yung tanong. No? Okay? Okay ba? So yan. So I think 2 beses na itong lumabas sa board exam. Okay? So itong problem na to. Okay? So sa REE pa lang yun. Diba? So kasi lumalabas din to sa ibang courses. Okay? So any questions? Okay? So okay na tayo dito. So now let's discuss, diba? So yung tinatawag naman nating volume, diba? So of solid of revolution. So yung solid of revolution naman. Okay? So as the name implies, pag sinabi nating solid of revolution, so this is a solid, diba? So which is makukuha natin so by revolving a curve about an axis or by revolving an area, okay, so with respect to an axis, diba? So for example, okay, so let's say we have this curve. Okay? So let's say we have that curve and gusto natin siyang, let's say, i-revolve so about this axis, di ba? So then, so you will see na, so pag ginawa natin yan, okay? So then, so you will form something like this. Okay? Okay? So again, so ito yung tinatawag natin volume of revolution, di ba? And yung pinaka-idea natin for a volume of revolution is, okay, so magkakaroon kasi siya dito ng cross-section. So kung titignan natin lahat ng cross-section niya, pagdating sa isang volume of revolution, the cross-section are always, okay, circular. Okay, okay ba? So which means, diba? So if we consider, let's say, a certain thickness here, so let's say we consider this one. So this is a circular disc, diba? So for a circular disc or for a circular cylinder, so the volume is just given by pi r squared h, diba? Kaya kailangan lang natin i-add up, diba? So yung pi r squared h ng mga cylindrical discs natin dito or yung mga circular discs natin, diba? So now, so again, ang una nyo kailangan malaman dito is itong thickness, diba, ng disc. So tawagin na lang natin as dh. Nakadepende kasi siya kung nasa ang axis yan. Pwede yung dx, pwede rin siya maging dy, diba? Kaya ito yung una nyo kailangan malaman. Ano yung dh, diba? So this sa solid of revolution natin. Pangalawa, diba, so is yung radius. Diba? Okay? So let me restart lang muna yung PowerPoint. Okay.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Okay. So let me redraw this now. Okay. So then, okay, so again, so let's consider this disk. So again, so we will form something like this. No? Okay? So then, so again, kailangan natin makuha dito is yung radius, diba, so of the disk. And makikita natin na yung radius ng disk naman dito is simply the distance between the curve, diba? So, and the axis of revolution. Okay? Nakuha ba? So, kaya madali na natin masasolve yan so pag meron tayong figure. Okay? So, then, ibig sabihin, so the differential volume, diba? So, of the disk. So, again, this is simply pi r squared times the height. Ang height natin dito ay dh. Diba? So, kaya to solve for the whole volume, so i-integrate lang natin yan. So, we have pi integral so ng r squared dh. So ito yung magiging limits of integration natin. Diba? Okay, so let's say this is a or b. Okay? So again, it can be in the x or y axis. So kaya depende pa yan sa problem natin. Okay? Okay ba? So again, so ito yung tinatawag natin na disk method. Okay? Okay ba? So that is the disk method. Okay. So disk method. Okay? So another way, diba? So para makapag-solve kayo ng volume of revolution is tinatawag din naman natin as the cylindrical shells method. Diba? So again, so for instance, so let's say we are given this one. So let's say ito yung curve natin. Okay, so we are given this curve. Okay? So tas i-revolve natin siya about this axis. Diba? So then you will form something like this. Okay? Okay ba? So then, so pag kinonsider natin again yung mga cross-section nito, so all cross-section are still circular. Diba? Pagdating sa cylindrical shells method, diba? So ang idea naman natin dyan is we get yung mga cylindrical shells. Okay? Naka ba? So basically, diba? So if we consider so itong parang strip na to, so consider this strip, diba? So dun sa volume natin, tapos na-revolve natin siya dun sa axis of revolution natin, so we will form so something like a cylindrical shell. No? So kumbaga parang imagine nyo lang na parang yung mga vertical strips natin, diba? So dun sa area, ni-revolve din natin about the axis of revolution. So kaya yung mangyayari dyan is yung volume natin, so will just be the sum so of this cylindrical shells. No? So kaya magkakaroon ka dito ng parang cylindrical shells. No? So again, so that's the idea. So for the cylindrical shell method. Okay? So kaya pagdating sa cylindrical shell method, yung boundary natin or the limits of integration will start from the axis so of revolution papunta doon sa pinakadulo ng curve natin. So kaya ito lang i-consider natin na limits of integration. So let's say this is A, this is B. Okay? Okay ba? So then for a cylindrical shell, saan equal yung area nito or yung volume? That is the lateral area of the cylinder. That's 2 pi RH multiplied by the thickness, no? So itong thickness na to, so ito yung gagawin natin as dr. So kasi ito yung radius, 'di ba? So kayo sabihin yung thickness na to is the change in the radius, so therefore that's dr, 'di ba? So and the height, okay? So again, so tawagin natin as h. Makikita natin na distance lang siya mula sa curve papunta dun sa axis natin, 'di ba? So kaya so yan yung magiging h natin. So kaya makikita natin yan from the figure, diba? So dun sa problem. Okay? So therefore, okay, so para sa cylindrical shells method naman, yung dV natin ay simply equal sa 2 pi RH dr, no? So therefore, solving for the volume, that's 2 pi sa integral ng RH dr, no? So this will be from A to B. Okay? So ito yung tinatawag natin as the cylindrical shell method. No? Okay? So yung isang method pa na kino-consider natin is the washer method, no? So or the ring method, no? So yung idea naman doon is pag may butas ka sa gitna, no? So imagine niyo na lang pag may butas ka sa gitna, 'di ba? So kailangan niyo lang siyang ibawas. 'Di ba? So kaya pag binawas natin 'yan, magkakaroon ka lang ng outside radius saka inside radius. So yung outside radius babawasan natin ng inside radius, 'di ba? So that's why so pag washer method naman yung i-consider natin, magkakaroon ka lang ng minus, no? So again, this is the outside radius squared minus inside radius squared dh. No? So again, so ito naman yung sa washer method natin. So volume is pi, integral from A to B. So ng outside radius squared minus inside radius squared, so multiplied by dh. So again, so this is what we call the washer method. Okay? Okay ba? So yung last but not the least na method, so for calculating the volume of solid of revolution, so is yung tinatawag natin na Pappus theorem. So Pappus theorem yung pinakamadaling way or pinakamabilis na way para mag-solve ng volume ng solid of revolution. So although meron tayong dalawang requirement, diba? So para ma-solve nyo yung solid ng volume ng solid of revolution. So yung isang requirement natin is the area, diba? So na ni-revolve natin about an axis. And pangalawa is dapat alam natin yung location ng centroid, no? So kaya dapat alam natin yung mga direct formulas for the areas and the centroid, diba? So of common figures natin, especially parabola. Kasi aking karamihan parabola yung given. Okay? So or yung conic section. So we have yung ellipse, semi-ellipse, quarter ellipse, diba? Circle, semicircle, quarter circle, so then parabola or semi-parabola. Diba? So dapat alam natin yung mga direct formulas for those. Okay? So kaya try nyo hanapin, diba? So yung mga listahan natin ng direct formulas ng area saka volume, area saka centroid, so ng conic sections. Okay? So yeah, so by yung Pappus theorem naman, so ang sinasabi niya lang is that the volume is equal to the area multiplied by, so this is 2 pi, so times c bar. So yung c bar is yung layo ng centroid ng area natin from the axis of revolution. For example dito, so ito yung i-consider natin na area. Diba? So this is the area. Okay, so ni-revolve natin about the axis, diba? And pangalawa, so let's say ito yung centroid niya, so ito yung centroid G. So we have the centroid, diba? So yung layo nito from the axis of revolution, yan yung c bar, yung sa equation. Okay? So kaya yun yung mga consideration natin. So ang tatandaan lang natin yung washer method is ginagamit lang natin pag may butas, diba? So yung disk method naman ginagamit lang natin pag walang butas yung solid. Yung cylindrical shell method, pwede natin gamitin may butas man or wala yung solid of revolution. So itong Pappus theorem naman, ginagamit din natin to may butas man or wala yung solid of revolution. So ang importante lang sa Pappus theorem, diba? So para magamit natin yung Pappus theorem, diba? So is dapat hindi nag-i-intersect, diba? Or hindi lumalampas yung area natin so dun sa solid of revolution. Okay? So for example, pag ganito yung curve natin, ito yung area na i-revolve natin, diba? So again, hindi pwede to, no? Hindi pwedeng i-solve using using Pappus theorem kasi so meron kang overlap, diba? So dito sa part na to. Okay? Okay? So yung tatandaan natin dyan. Okay? So any questions for this part? Okay. So let's try some examples. No? So I think hanggang dito lang yung masosolve natin today since malapit na rin mag 5 p.m. No? Okay? So again, so yung mga matitira naman dito sa integral calculus, so i-discuss naman natin so next meeting, so bukas, no? Okay? So tapos tatapusin natin yan hanggang differential equation. So then we have advanced math. So yung Provenstad naman konti lang, diba? So mga basic na yung pinaka-basic lang na mga problems natin. Okay? So let's try to solve this one. So the area bounded by the curve. So this is a parabola. So and the line x is equal to 3. So x is equal to 3 is a vertical line, no? Kasi x coordinate yung given. So then is revolve about the line x is equal to 3. Find the volume generated. No? So let's try to graph the problem first, no? So we are given y squared is equal to 12x. Okay. So then, diba? So again, so this is of the form. So kasi naka-standard form na yan, diba? So again, so makikita natin na this is of the form y squared is equal to 4ax. Diba? So this time, y yung naka-square. So this is opening to the right or left. Pero since positive 12 to, so this is opening to the right. Diba? So this opens to the right. Diba? And again, so pag ganito, na wala nakasubtract sa y and x, diba? So then, we know that the vertex is at the origin. Okay? Okay? So yung pangalawang step natin is to solve the point of intersection. Diba? So nung line na, nung boundaries natin. So ang boundary kasi natin dyan is yung curve, saka yung line x is equal to 3. So let's get the point of intersection. So let's solve this at x is equal to 3. So we have y squared is equal to 12x. Diba? So then y squared is equal to 12 times 3. So then y is equal to plus or minus 6. Diba? So if y is equal to positive 6, diba? So since x is equal to 3 to, okay? So then you will have, so x is equal to 3. So tapos y is positive 6. Diba? So pag negative 6 naman, so x is equal to 3, y is negative 6. So ito yung points of intersection natin. So therefore, so ito yung mga points, diba? So na magde-define dun sa parabola natin. Okay? So pwede na natin i-draw ito. Okay? Okay, so this is our, let's say, x-axis, so then y-axis, no? So this is the origin, okay? So first, so we have the vertex at the origin, so ito yung vertex natin. Okay, so then we have positive 3, 6, saka positive 3, negative 6. So let's say this is positive 3. So then let's say this is positive 6. So then this is negative 6, diba? So then we have, okay, so a point here. So then we also have a point here. Okay, so therefore, this is our parabola. Okay, so yan yung parabola natin. No? Okay, so tapos, diba? So ito yung ating line, diba? So na x is equal to 3. So again, vertical line passing through x is equal to 3, diba? So ito yung ating axis of revolution. Okay, so this is given by x is equal to 3. Okay, so then pag ni-revolve natin dyan yung curve natin, so yung parabola, diba? So then, so we can see, so na ito yung lalabas na volume natin dito. So you will form something like this. No? Okay? So para siyang football, 'di ba? So yung shape niya. Okay? So again, so yan yung magiging volume natin, 'di ba? So let's try to solve this, 'di ba? So again, since walang butas yan sa gitna, pwede nating applyan 'to ng disk method, 'di ba? So remember na yung sa disk method natin, okay? So again, yung mga disk natin are oriented perpendicular dun sa axis of revolution. So kaya dito yung disk natin will be horizontal. Okay, naka ba? So we will have horizontal disks, 'di ba? So let's consider, for example, this cross section, 'di ba? So which is just a circular disk. So we have something like this. Okay. Okay, so we have this circular disk. Okay? Okay ba? So then, so ito yung magiging thickness, diba? So ng disk natin. Okay? So as you can see, yung thickness natin dito sa akin, this is DH. Pero base dun sa orientation natin, this is in the direction of the Y coordinate, diba? So therefore, this will be given by dy. Okay? So as for the radius naman, so makukuha natin ito yung radius, diba? So of the disk. Okay? So therefore, distance lang siya, diba? So between, so yung point natin sa parabola, tapos yung point natin dun sa axis of revolution, di ba? And again, so we know that this is 3 units. Okay, so kasi vertical line, so the distance between them is 3 units minus 0 units, di ba? So y-axis is x is 0. So kailan natin 3 units to? Di ba? Okay? So this is 3 units. Okay? And by definition of the coordinates natin, alam natin na mula dito sa y-axis, papunta doon sa point sa parabola natin is given by x. Diba? Yung x na yan, pwede natin makuha dito sa equation ito. Diba? So therefore, so saan equal yung radius natin? So this will just be equal to, so 3 minus x. Diba? Okay? So therefore, meron na tayong radius, diba? Saka yung h natin in terms of x and y. So we can now set up so yung ating equation. Diba? So again, so first, the differential volume of the disk. So this is given by, so again, pi r squared dh. No? Pero again, yung r natin ay simply 3 minus x. Tapos yung dh naman natin is dy. Okay? So kaya para makumpleto natin to, kailangan natin palitan yung x in terms of y kasi dy to. So kaya gagamitin lang natin to. So you will get x is y squared over 12. So ipalit natin dyan. So you will get pi multiplied by 3. So minus y squared over 12. So then this quantity squared dy. Diba? So again, so this is our dv. Okay? Ako ba? So then solving for the volume. So kasi isa na lang yung variable natin. So pwede na natin yung isolve. So then this will be 3 minus y squared over 12. So this quantity squared dy. So ano limits of integration natin? Since dy yan, so dito tayo titingin sa y-axis. So from negative 6 hanggang positive 6. Diba? So pero again, due to symmetry, pwedeng kalahatiin nyo lang. Pwedeng 0 to 6 lang, just multiply it by 2. No? So pero ito na lang yung gamitin natin. So we have volume therefore is equal to, okay? So this is pi. So then integral, so of 3 minus, so we have y squared over 12. So 3 minus, so y squared over 12. So then quantity squared. So from negative 6 to positive 6. Okay, so you will get this to be 181. So this will be in cubic units. No? So therefore the answer is letter C. Okay? Okay ba? So any questions para dito? Okay. So pwede nyo rin to actually ma-solve using cylindrical shells. No? So pero iwan ko na sa inyo yung solution. Okay? Nakuha ba? So set up ko lang yung equation. Okay? Nakuha ba? So para matry nyo rin. Diba? So kung gusto nyo gamitan ng cylindrical shells. Okay? So pero hindi ko na isosolve yung integral. No? So medyo complicated kasi yung integral dito ng cylindrical shells kasi magiging ano siya. Ang tawag dito, magkakaroon siya ng radical, diba, ng square root. Okay. So cylindrical shell, diba? So meron tayong dalawang option. Okay, so for cylindrical shell. So again, so ang gagamitin lang kasi natin doon ay strips, diba? Tapos yung strips natin dapat parallel sa axis of revolution. So kaya for example, sa case natin dito, so we can use this strip here. Diba? So again, so we have a strip that is parallel to the axis of revolution. Okay? But as you can see, due to the symmetry of the parabola, pwede natin tong hatiin sa dalawa, di ba? So therefore, if ang i-consider lang natin is yung upper half, so nung na-form natin dito na figure, so then pwedeng hanggang dito lang yung gawin nating strip. Diba? Pwedeng kalahatiin din natin yung strip, di ba? And actually, that is much easier to solve, di ba? So compared sa pag kinonsider natin yung buong strip, di ba? So nung nabuo natin ang solid of revolution. Okay? So tapos ito yung i-revolve natin about the axis of revolution to form a cylindrical shell. So pero ang kailangan lang naman natin doon, 'di ba? So is yung thickness nito. So which is as you can see along the x-axis. So therefore this is simply dx. Okay? So then kailangan din natin ng height. So basically itong length na to. So pero as you can see, this is just the distance of the given point on the parabola and the x-axis. By definition, that is the y-coordinate. Diba? So, and pangatlo, the radius. Diba? So, yung layo nito from the axis of revolution. Pero kanina nakuha na natin yan as 3 minus x. Kasi again, this is the x coordinate. So, tapos alam din natin na ito ay 3 units. Diba? So, therefore, so if we set up yung differential volume natin, okay? Okay, so pag i-consider natin yung differential volume ng cylindrical shell natin, so again, that's 2 pi RH dr. Diba? So kaya dito, so base dun sa mga nakuha natin, so yung radius ay 3 minus x. No? Tapos yung height natin, so is y. So tapos yung dr natin ay dx. Diba? So then substitute lang natin, so yung mga given. So again, since dx to, so kaya kailangan naka in terms of x tayo. Diba? So saan equal yung y? So mula dito, so square root of 12x yung y natin. So therefore, this is square root of 12x dx. Diba? So then to solve for the volume, so integrate lang natin yan. So mula sa, so again, so dito, magsisimula tayo sa x is 0 hanggang sa axis of revolution lang. So kaya from 0 to 3 lang. No? Kasi pag lumampas tayo dun sa 3, diba? So then meron na yung ka-partner dun sa kabila, no? So kumbaga pag ni-revolve natin yan at pag ni-revolve natin yan so with respect to the axis of revolution, madodoble yung cylindrical shell natin. So kaya hanggang dito lang sa axis of revolution, no? So then this will be 3 minus x, diba? So then square root of 12x dx. So again, kayo na yung bahala mag-solve nito. So diretso nyo na lang sa calculator. Makukuha nyo dito yung 181. Okay? So pareho lang yung lalabas. Diba? And again, so yung final solution natin, diba? So is by using Pappos theorem. Okay? Nakuha ba? Sa Pappos theorem naman, so again, ang kailangan lang natin is the direct formula natin for the area na ni-revolve natin about the axis. Diba? So and the location of the centroid. Diba? Okay? So kaya kung alam niyo yung direct formulas natin para sa parabola, so magandang gamitin yung Pappus theorem, diba? So para sa board exam. Kasi wala nang integration na involved doon, diba? Direct formulas lang. Okay? So again, sana yung mga tatandaan natin yung formulas. Okay? So again, for a parabolic segment, okay, so let's say ito yung parabolic segment natin. Okay? So again, sinabi ko na sa inyo kanina yung area nito. So this is 2/3 base times height. Diba? So again, so this is our axis of the parabola. Okay? So then this is the height of the parabola. Diba? So height. So then this is the base of the parabola. Okay? So yung tatandaan natin pagdating sa centroid ng parabola, the centroid of the parabola is located on the axis of the parabola. So somewhere dito sa gitna. Diba? So yung centroid natin. This is the centroid G. And pag mineasure natin to, so mula dun sa base natin, so mula sa base ng parabola, so this is just given by, so 8/5. And 3/5, diba? So this is 3/5. Tama, so 3/5, diba? So ng 2/5 ng height. No? So not 3/5. This is 2/5 ng height. Okay? Okay? So again, so yun yung tatandaan nyo yung pagdating sa parabola. So therefore, so pagdating dun sa given sa atin dito, diba? So since we are considering this area, okay, nakuha ba? So then, so ito yung base natin dyan, mula dito hanggang dito. So that is given by 6 minus -6, that's 12 units. Yung height ng parabola natin is mula dito hanggang dito. So alam natin na yun ay 3 units, diba? And again, the centroid is located on the axis. Diba? So kasi axis ng parabola natin dito, x-axis. So therefore, somewhere here, pag mineasure natin siya from the base of the parabola, so again, this is 2/5 ng height. Okay? So this is 2/5 of the height. So ito yung height natin. Okay? Nakuha ba? And nagkataon dito, so na ito na rin mismo yung axis of revolution natin. Therefore, by definition natin sa Pappus theorem, ito na rin yung ating c-bar. Diba? So dun sa equation. Okay? So therefore, solving for the area, okay, so area muna tayo. So again, so yung base is 12 units. Yung height is 3 units. So therefore, this will be 24 square units. So again, that's for the area. And for C-bar, so again, this is equivalent to 2/5 ng height. So base dun sa figure natin. Diba? So 2/5 ng height. So yung height natin ay 3 units. So therefore, okay, so this is 2/5. So times 3 units. So this is equal to 1.2. No? So again, so yun yung C-bar natin. Okay? So then solving, diba? So dun sa volume natin by Pappus theorem. So again, this is equal to area multiplied by 2 pi C-bar. So again, so ito yung Pappus theorem. Diba? So we have area natin, so is equivalent sa 24 square units multiplied by 2 pi multiplied by C-bar. So multiplied by 1.2. So kaya volume natin dito is 24 times 2 pi times 1.2. So we get 181. So this will be in cubic units. Diba? Guys, as you can see, pareho lang yung lumalabas sa sagot. And sobrang simple lang ng solution. Diba? So kasi alam natin yung mga direct formula. Okay? So kung hindi nyo alam yung direct formula, just derive. Diba? So kaya-kaya naman yung i-derive using integral calculus. Diba? So yung centroid, pag-aaralan pa natin after ng volume of revolution. Okay? So are there any questions para sa problem na to? Okay? Okay? So again, so hanggang dito lang muna yung lecture natin.
Recording stopped.
Okay, so since 5 p.m. na rin, diba? So hanggang 5 p.m. lang yung ano natin, discussion. Okay? So, sabihan ko lang si Sir.
Hello, Sir Raymond. Tapos ka na?
Opo, Sir. Bali bukas ulit, Sir, no?
Ha?
Bukas ulit yung next na meeting.
Yes. The same time, 8 to 5 tomorrow.
Super, Sir.
My dear student, okay lang kayo. Yung secretary natin, nandiyan pa ba? Hello. Siguro nakapag-check naman na ng attendance yun. O, sige. Ilang subjects pa bukas, Raymond?
Bali sir, continuation ng